I praise to Sister Cora. Yeah, okay, all praise and praises. Happy Shabbat to each one of you. This is Moreh Yaakov and ITFTR Network. We thank you for joining me today on this Shabbat coming in. Each one of you, shalom, shalom. Happy Shabbat to you, Sister Joanne. Make sure as each one of you come in, make sure you press the like and subscribe button. You know, my likes should match my views. My likes should match my views. If I got one person in here, it should be one like. If it's 3 people, it should be 3 likes. If it's 10 people, it should be 10 likes. Shalom, shalom. Happy Shabbat, Sephora. Happy Shabbat to each one of you. To you as well. Thank you for joining us. Listen, you can see my book up here. If you haven't gotten the book, make sure you get the book. The book was just dropped on last week. It was just dropped on last week. Make sure each one of you get the book. Get the book. Get the book. Get the book. A lot of people, you know, it's a good book. My first children's book. Make sure each one of you, if you haven't gotten one, get one. She'll have me some copies for sale by next week. So we thank the Creator for each one of you for, you know, just purchase the book. Also, the animation will be coming out by June. We're going to have a release party for the animation along with the book as well. We're going to have a release party. We're looking for Brother Devontae to perform. Brother Joel said he wants to perform as well. So we're going to have like a spelling bee to give away cash prizes. So we're going to have different activities going on that day. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that as well. But tonight we are going to go ahead and get into the Sabbath service, the Sabbath lesson. But before I do, I'm gonna go ahead and blow my shofar. All praises to the Creator. Thank you for joining me. Make sure as you come in, you press the like and subscribe button. And if you want someone else to hear the program tonight, make sure you press that share button as well. Okay. Like I said, you can see my book up here, my first episode to my book. There's other episodes. This book right here is going to have 50 episodes to it. Okay. In the Creator's will, 50. And we're gonna each episode is gonna have an animation with it as well. We're not gonna just have the animation on YouTube, but it's gonna be on Tubi as well and different other platforms. So be looking out. We have got some things in progress. We got some things moving. We're trying to make things move at ITFTR Network. So also, as we can see, this month is over. Passover is coming up. The New Year is coming up. Those who are going to participate with Passover, sent out the requirements for the requirements for Passover this year. So make sure you allow me to know if you are coming, you are attending, and if you are bringing a guest. Please let me know. Or please let Sister Joanne know, so that we can prepare ourselves for the people that will be there, the people that will be attending, so we can make sure we have the proper space for what we need to do, and to be able to attend the guests for ITFTR Network, Indigenous Talk for the Righteous, Hebrew Israelites of America, Indigenous Hebrews Israelites of the Americas group. So we want to make sure we have enough space. But as we move forward, we thank the Creator for each one of you coming in. We thank the Creator for protecting us, providing for us, giving us, the things that we need in order to sustain ourselves through this oppression, this captivity, this journey that we are on. We thank the Creator for allowing us to wake up to be able to understand and realize the purpose that we have. Even though we have made mistakes and we have walked away from him, but we thank the Creator that he never moved, nor he never removed himself from us totally. So we thank the Creator for giving us the mindset, the will, the understanding, the knowledge, the wisdom to be able to understand him alone. We thank the Creator just for bringing the people that we have met, came across, that we have known within our paths, that have moved on from this life. We thank the Creator for allowing us to be able to meet them, to acknowledge them, to be able to see them and learn from them before they were called back to him. So we thank the Creator for everything that he has done for us. And even as we get ready to move into this lesson tonight, we ask the Creator to remove the vision of ourselves, oneself, from ourselves, and become unified with the Creator. Forgive us for our sins. Forgive us for our transgressions. Forgive us for our iniquities. Ways that we don't go beyond that buoy of the water, that we can see the surface and swim back to land to be saved. And we thank the Creator for each and every one of you that have joined us and that will join us tonight in this podcast. And we thank you All praises to the Creator. Hallelujah. Selah. All right, all right, all right, all right. Make sure if you haven't gotten this book, make sure you get the book. Not make sure you get the book. Make sure you get the book. Make sure you get the book. It's in the e-form, e-book, or you get a hard paperback book. Make sure you get a book. Okay? Support the brother, support the platform, because we're trying to do some things over here. Okay? All praises, all praises. Now, I want to kind of pick up on last week where we left off at. I know I left off with Ron Hayes, and we're going to get back into his video in a few minutes. We're going to get back into his video. But I want to pick back up on IUIC, because there's a lot of things that we should be paying attention to very closely. And the things that we need to be paying attention to is what I call words. Words are a spell. It's a spell. Words bring a curse or words bring a blessing. A lot of us, we regurgitate the words because that's what we have faith in, what people that we look up to, the things that they be saying. And it's cool, because a lot of times we was disappointed in our lives, and people that we have faith in disappointed us. So as we grow and we move on in life and we meet different people who we call leaders or prominent people, we say that these people, we uphold these people as something or someone to be great. But I tell anybody, always examine any and everything that people say out of their mouth. Because a lot of times we don't even know who people are until we become familiar with those people. And a lot of times when we become familiar with those type of people, it'd be too late. We done have drunk the Kool-Aid. I'm about to drink some of this tea. And then we done drunk the Kool-Aid so much that the Kool-Aid had done affected us from the inside. It done start swimming through the bloodstream and through the veins and etc. And now the Kool-Aid done become a part of you. And now you can't shake the Kool-Aid off. You can't even urinate or defecate the Kool-Aid out because the Kool-Aid had to become a part of you, meaning the lie. And a lot of people had done been into the lie and the narratives that your enemy had done placed upon you, that a lot of us don't even know what truth really is. We just think truth is what truth is. And this is the problem. We don't examine people's words to know rather not if they're speaking truth or not. And that's when I began to listen to the video. And there's a lot of stuff that's in the video that been said wrong. And I'm gonna pick the main pieces out of the video that will help every last one of us realize what people be saying can actually bring you under a curse. So this is leftovers from last week. We are in the third week of leftovers. Because sometimes, when you cook so much that you have to put the rest of it in the refrigerator to eat for the next day, or leftover, what they call leftovers, 2 days. I grew up like that. The older people, they'll cook these big pots of food, and they'll cook and we'll have food for 3 days. Some people say, "Nah, I can't eat the same thing for 3 days," but I did. And the food was fine. I mean, I leftovers don't bother me, especially if it's something that I like. It don't bother me. But I know some people today, they don't eat leftovers. They'll go out to eat at these restaurants before they eat leftovers. And that's the reason why a lot of us are now falling to be sick, because we eat more restaurants food than we actually eat food that we cook. And I know a lot of stuff that we cook is not wholesome and organic like it used to be when I was young, but it is what it is. I mean, it doesn't matter. I still believe in my spirit that food that is cooked from a home cooked food is always better than restaurant food. Okay? Because the home cooked food is cooked with love. It's cooked with good intent. It's cooked with a pure mind. You know, the females, and sometimes when I get in there, I cook, we take our time and cook. I know my oldest daughter, you don't get her to cook for you. She cannot be, no. Because if she a chef, you can order pancakes at 8 o'clock. You won't get your pancakes to 2. She take her time to cook. I mean, she ain't in no rush. She ain't in no rush. Don't let that be your last meal, because you're going to miss it. You're going to miss that last meal because she's slow. But she's a good cook though. But yeah, she's a good cook. She can cook now. But she's just slow. She's just slow. But home cooked meals are always the best part of the day. You know, that's what it's all about. You know, it's about cooking food from the house. You know, they used to make cornbread from scratch. They used to you know, when they used to fry that chicken, they used to fry it, and that thing used to be browned on the outside. Used to be cooked on the inside very well. No blood on the inside, nothing. And it used to be golden brown on the outside, because they used to cook it with dough and put eggs around the egg. They used to dip it in the dough and egg. And then it has that brown, golden skin on it. They knew what they was doing. See, but today we just throw it in and just throw the food in the frying pan. We don't care. You know, we used to have that, you know, we used to eat the cream of wheat, oatmeal. We used to eat grits, you know, cornmeal. You know, we used to cook a lot of stuff with cornmeal, not so much of flour, but cornmeal, you know. And it's just a lot of things that people used to do. Hold on for a second, y'all. Hold on. They always do this to me. Always do this to me. Hello? Hello? No, he's not. No, I can't help you. I say he's not there. Yeah, so that's what it is. You know, everybody always want to call me during the time of a live, but I'm gonna start blocking my phone out, put do not disturb on it. But the older people used to know how to cook okra. I don't see too many people cooking okra no more. You know, tomato. I mean, just the good food. The good food. We don't cook that no more. We cook that fat stuff. You know, stuff they used to cook that stuff that sticks to your stomach. We don't cook that no more. We fast. We get in that fast-paced stuff now. Stuff that have you hungry like Chinese food after you eat it. Oh boy. After you eat, about 2 minutes later, you're hungry again. The older people used to cook that stuff that sticks to your stomach. That's what it's about. But without no further ado, let's get into this thing. We got to be careful with words, because if you're not paying attention to the words that people use, you're going to get trapped. You're going to get trapped. And when you get trapped, family, you're going to get trapped in the lies that they have been telling. And now, how do you break the lie? Get into this video real quick. And then we're going to move forward. All right, let's get into it. All right, where we at? Okay.
Did you know that 600 million people worldwide suffer from cognitive dysfunction? I've got 3 ways to get that.
Judaism. Ready to come in up on this video. We're going to jump back into where we left off yesterday. Last week in the Creator's Will. We're going to get into a little bit more into these brothers' misindoctrination. And you have to really do what Deuteronomy 32:8 says. That is not in the Bible for no reason. Deuteronomy 32:8. We have to be very mindful of the laws that the Creator has given to us as a people, because we can't be selective at the laws, because overall these things affects us. Okay, so Deuteronomy 32:8, and this is what it says here. I just want to read this before we get into the video. It says, when the Creator, excuse me, I'm starting at verse 7. Excuse me, I'm at 32:7. Remember the days of old. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, and thy elders, and they will tell thee. Now, you have to remember one thing. Let me turn this thing right here down. Let me turn this down a little bit. You have to remember one thing, is that when you go ask your fathers and your elders, they're not talking about people of a group. They're talking about people of your bloodline, because your bloodline know more about themselves than an actual group. It's okay to be in a group, but why would I be inside of a group when I don't even know my own bloodline? I don't even know anything about my family. I have to take a complete stranger's word to determine who I am. That's not what Deuteronomy 32:7 says. Let me read it again. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of what? Many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, and elders, and they will tell thee. So, in order for me to learn the truth of me, I have to go back home to my family in order for my family to know, for them to give me the correct information that I need to know of myself. But let's get into this. Let's get back into the leftovers. And we're going to pick some more part of the misindoctrination of IUIC. Because when you're talking about truth, you cannot leave law from it. Now, the first thing they say is, well, we do teach law. We teach the Bible. Well, I'm going to show you law tonight that you do not teach. You do not teach, you overlook it. And then what you do, what you do and what you have many people doing is reading with no understanding, and you're reading with ignorance of what's around them and what they are a part of today. Let's get into it. I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna break all this down of what I'm saying. I know right now what I'm saying is a bunch of gibberish, but walk with me. You'll see, and I'm gonna iron it out like I'm doing this shirt. Let's go.
Being Jewish, okay, and that was back during the 700s. They had converted. They, along with the Roman Catholic Church, enslaved our people in beginning 1441. They began to enslave us and colonize us from that point on. From 1917, I mentioned the Balfour Declaration. They needed a homeland. They started World War I, World War II. After World War II, the League of Nations.
So hold on. He said they needed a homeland. So now, family, the question now becomes, what was their homeland? What was their homeland from the beginning? Because if they needed a homeland, let's say it again. He said they needed a homeland. Let's hear it again.
Being Jewish, okay, and that was back during the 700s. They had converted. They, along with the Roman Catholic Church, won.
And that the Israelites were starting to be enslaved in 1441. This is what he's saying. This is what he's saying. Let's hear his words again. In 1441, that's when the Israelites were starting to become slaves. Let's go.
Converted to what's called today Judaism, being Jewish, okay? And that was back during the 700s. They had converted. They, along with the Roman Catholic Church, enslaved our people in beginning 1441.
So beginning of 1441, that's when they began to enslave the Israelites. So what happened to 70 AD according to your doctrine? I thought the Israelites were fled into Africa. So in 1441, they waited from 70 AD to 1441 to begin to enslave the Israelites. Let's go. This is you hear it from his own mouth. I'm not adding anything to his words. You're gonna hear it from his own mouth. Let's go.
They began to enslave us and colonize us from that point on.
So he's saying that the Roman Catholics and the Khazarians began to enslave the Israelites. Okay, let's go. In 1441,
I mentioned the Balfour Declaration. They needed a homeland. They started.
See, he said they needed a homeland. They needed a homeland. So what happened to their homeland? Because now you have what is called the Scarborough Act. If you look it up, to like the word Scarborough Act is when they try to put that fake Jewish land inside of South Africa, what we call today Kenya. Okay, but it didn't work. So then they went over into where the Palestinians were. Okay, what they looking for a homeland for? What happened to family? What happened to their homeland? We're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on this. What happened to their homeland, family? Do anybody want to get into that? Because why would you be looking for a homeland if you have a homeland? Why would you be looking for a homeland, family? If I have a house, what I'm looking for another house for unless I'm expanding? I want that to sink. I want that just to sink for you. Let that sink. What were they looking for a homeland for if they have one? I want that to sink. I want that to sink in your noggin. Nobody wants to talk about that, but we're going to talk about that tonight in the Creator's Will. What were they looking for a new homeland for? Let's go.
World War One, World War II. After World War II, the League of Nations allotted them the land of Israel. Why? Because the true Israelites, we've been scattered already, scattered throughout the continent of Africa, scattered throughout India, scattered throughout Iran, Iraq, America, Canada, South America, the Caribbean. We've been scattered.
So we on the moon too. We on the moon. We on the we floating in the air on the satellites. We all over the place. We underneath the ocean. We on top of the moon. The mountains. We all over the place according to this guy. He trying to say that that's our land over there. That's what he's saying. I'm just reviewing. We already went over this last week. Okay, let's go.
Destroyed our race, our people.
He said they destroyed our race and our people. That's what he's saying. Let's go.
So now they were established. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to read something to you, Revelation 2:9, because I said a statement.
He says, so now they are established. Now, listen to what he's saying. Now, listen.
Iran, Iraq, America, Canada, South America, the Caribbean, we've been scattered. They destroyed our race, our people. So now they were established.
So now he's saying that since they destroyed us, they established now. Okay, so they needed to destroy us to make themselves be established. Okay, I ain't gonna argue with that. Let's go.
I'm going to show you something. I'm going to read something to you, Revelation 2:9, because I said a statement.
Okay.
I said
this is going to be a serious Bible study. I hope you've got your Bible.
Right.
I've got my Bible.
I made a statement. I said Jesus Christ called them the devil. Now, some of you may be watching said, oh, he's a racist. No. Everything I say has nothing to do with my personal feelings. I'm going to give you Bible. Now, during the time of Jesus Christ, you had converts there, Caucasian Romans who converted to Judaism, such as Herod, Agrippa, Bernice. There were many people that had converted to Judaism. They were Caucasian. They were not the real Jews, though. Watch this. Revelation 2, I'll start at verse 8, because it's talking to the real Israelites in Smyrna.
Revelation 2, verse 8. That's the last chapter of the Bible.
Right. And unto the angel of the church in Smyrna, right. These things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. Verse 9. This is Christ speaking. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. So he's speaking to us. We are impoverished. We have gone through tribulation. We have many works. You with me now? We're in verse 9. Okay.
As we've been looking right here, let's let me plug this out. Let's play it. I just want to get through this because we already talked about this last week. I just want to hit on some points real quick. Let's go.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Who was Christ speaking about? Herod, Agrippa, Bernice, many of those Caucasians at that time. Now watch what they do in verse 10. Christ continues, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Who was casting our people into prison? The people of Herod and the Roman Empire. What is Christ calling them? The devil. It says that you may be tried and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. All through the Bible, Jesus Christ, a black man, warns us they are Satan, they are the devil. But we're not taught this in any church on earth.
Now, notice what he said all through the Bible. Jesus Christ wasn't in it wasn't in Torah. Jesus Christ wasn't in Old Testament. Jesus Christ wasn't in, he didn't come into the New Testament. So how he say all through the Bible? Did you catch the words? I keep telling y'all, words put you in a curse. It puts you under a spell. Because the first thing you say is, when you hear him say all through the Bible, the first thing you hear him say, oh, the first thing that comes to your mind is, well, Jesus Christ was in the Old Testament too. No, he was not. He didn't come until the New Testament, according to the New Testament. So you have to pay attention to the words, family, to the words. Say it again.
All through the Bible, Jesus
See, all through the Bible,
Christ, a black man, warns us they are Satan, they are the devil. But we're not taught this in any church on earth.
so show me Jesus Christ in the Old Testament saying that the white man is the devil. Show me that, family. I want anybody to show me in the chat. You come on, let me put it up. Let me put it up on the, let me put it up here. Because I see we got an open panel. We got an open panel. Shalom, shalom, Sister Latoya. Good to see you. Happy Shabbat. Shalom, shalom. Thank you for joining us. Show me Jesus Christ in Torah calling the white man the devil. Anybody know these folks, the IUIC people or the One West people, you can tell them, hey, we having leftovers. They can come and join us. Show me Jesus Christ in Torah, in the Old Testament, calling the white man the devil. Let's hear him again. That's why I say these people can put you under a spell by just listening to and not hearing. You're listening, but you're not hearing. I mean, you're hearing them, but you're not listening. See his face? Look at his face. Look how I called him. See his face? Look at his face. He's a good speaker. He's a very cunning speaker. And if you ain't paying attention, you almost look like Ty Traffic Brothers, ain't it? If you ain't paying attention to him, he'll get you. Let's go.
The devil. It says that you may be tried and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Many of those Caucasians at that time. Now watch what they do in verse 10. Christ continues. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Who was casting our people into prison? The people of Herod and the Roman Empire. What is Christ calling them? The devil. It says that you may be tried and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. All through the Bible, Jesus Christ, a black man, warns us they are Satan, they are the devil. But we're not.
So show me Jesus Christ in Torah calling the white man the devil. You hear it from his own mouth. Show me where Jesus Christ in Torah called the white man the devil. So we know that's a lie. Let's go.
Not taught this in any church on earth. Every church will ignore this and go, oh, it doesn't mean that. But wait a minute. That's what it says. No, it means the spiritual demon is going to come down and throw you in jail. A spiritual demon comes from heaven and puts me in a jail cell. Who threw Peter in prison in the book of Acts? It was the white man, Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Who cut off James' head in Acts 12?
Mm-hmm.
Herod did that. This is who Christ is talking about. But people cannot connect the dots. Why? Because we've been colonized by religion. The religions of our oppressor, the religion of our colonizer, the religion of our former slave master.
Bishop, I get it when you say Rome.
Mm.
But when you take it further and say Caucasian, I would go further and also challenge you. There's no Caucasian in the Bible.
We're going to get
That's my understanding. So I'm going to get
that's
lectured and
So
taught
now,
here.
Let's
So how do you get to that point where you say this means Caucasian? This
Okay.
devil that is spoken about here in
Mhm.
Revelation means Caucasian.
Okay, watch this.
We're getting deeper even, you know.
Oh, yes.
before we
I'm
get
going
going.
to give y'all some history that's not been taught in South Africa. We're going to go to Genesis 25.
Is it being taught in the US?
Oh, yes, we're teaching it. You're only
So
going to
it's,
get it
it's
from the
new.
Israelites.
It's only been there for 20 years in the United States.
Yes.
Where else has it been?
Well, now it's in India.
No. Before 2003, where did this knowledge come from?
Oh, America. We had elders before us who passed
Okay,
away. and
okay.
they taught us.
Mhm.
Okay. But there's been a media blackout on this truth. Okay. Why? Because it's like they say it's offensive
Mhm.
to everyone.
Mm.
Remember, Christ said, "You shall be hated of all nations."
So if Jesus said you're going to be hated of all nations, then why you just only singling out the white man? So what other nations that's going to hate you? That you going to telling them that they're Israel? You got to pay attention to the words. If you don't pay attention to the words, you will get sucked into the lie. If all nations are going to hate you, family, according to their Messiah, then why are you going around the world telling everybody that they're Israel? Let's hear him again.
America. We had elders before us who passed
Okay,
away. and
okay.
they taught us.
Mhm.
Okay. But there's been a media blackout on this truth. Okay. Why? Because it's like they say it's offensive
Mhm.
to everyone.
Mm.
Remember, Christ said, "You shall be hated of all nations."
Okay.
When he said that, he meant that thing. Why do you think they crucified Christ and beheaded James? They're going, "I love you. I just love you." What are they doing that? That doesn't get your head cut off. Your head gets cut off when you start to teach we're the Israelites, God's chosen people. We're going to rule and dominate this world.
Interestingly enough, I'm just thinking of something now as you're
Hear
talking.
it again.
Someone
Why do you think they crucified Christ and beheaded James? They're going, "I love you. I just love you." What are they doing that? That doesn't.
before 2003, where did this knowledge come from?
Oh, America. We had elders before us who passed
Okay,
away. and
okay.
they taught us.
Mhm.
Okay. But there's been a media blackout on this truth. Okay. Why? Because it's like they say it's offensive
Mhm.
to everyone.
Mm.
Remember, Christ said, "You shall be hated of all nations."
So what nation he did not tell you that you're not going to be hated by? So if you're going to be hated by all nations, then tell me what nation is going to love you according to your New Testament. I'll wait on that. What nation now is going to love you? What nation is going to love you for you being an Israelite? You are different. Everything about you is different. Everybody's following the pattern of you. Everybody wants to be you, but nobody wants to go through the things of you. And if Jesus say you're going to be hated by all nations, then tell me what nation that's supposed to love you. But these folks just singling out the white man. Let me show you something now. Let me show you something in a second. You only is hated by the white man. Notice they are not telling you anything about the so-called melanated nations. But they only singling out the white man. I wonder why. They don't tell you about the melanated people that came to the Americas and colonized it. They don't tell you about those people. They don't tell you about the melanated people that came to the Americas and integrated in your bloodline. They don't tell you about that. They only tell you about the Caucasian. And I wonder why. They don't tell you about the melanated nations that took your land before you even claimed your land. What happened to those 7 nations? What happened to them, family? Where did they go, family? You didn't wipe them out. Where did they go? So I guess they turned white too, right? So all your enemies, Israel, is white people. And that's what he's saying. But his Jesus Christ said, you're going to be hated by all nations. Jesus Christ did not specify not one nation going to love you. He said all nations are going to hate you. So, but you only pick out one nation, a group of people. So now the question is, family, why only the pale man you call the devil? Do you see the curse of misindoctrination? Do you see it? Let's hear it again.
Offensive
Mhm.
to everyone.
Mm.
Remember, Christ said, "You shall be hated of all nations."
He said you're going to be hated of all nations. He did not exclude not one nation that's going to love you. He said all nations. All nations. That's what Jesus Christ said. So why would you only pull one and call them the devil? Let's keep going.
When he said that, he meant that thing. Why do you think they crucified Christ and beheaded James? Was it they going, "I love you, I just love you"? Were they doing that? That doesn't get your head cut off. Your head gets cut off when you start to teach we're the Israelites, God's chosen people. We're going to rule and dominate this world.
Interestingly enough, I'm just
So he said you get your head cut off when you notify the people that you're the Israelites and you're going to dominate the world. That's when they're going to cut your head off. I got a question, family. Then why they did not cut off Daniel's head? They cut off his other head. He was a eunuch. But they didn't cut off his head. Why they didn't cut off Moses' head? Why did they not cut off Ezra and Nehemiah's head? But they cut off Peter. They cut off, I think they cut off James' head. They hung Jesus on the cross. We're going to get into this. Let's go.
thinking of something as you're talking. Someone had mentioned that in most movies where Christ is shown, he's always seen as smiling, gentle.
Yes, a homo-
But
We're
Christ,
going to skip past this.
That's how he was. But he also had a soft side because children came to him.
Mhm.
Okay, so he had, but you never see that rough or austere side of Christ in any movie. You see you see a. I can say the word homosexual, right?
I don't know. Google, can you say?
Can you say?
Which must shortly come to pass. And he said,
I'm gonna read verse 1, then for time's sake, I'm gonna jump to the point.
Okay.
Go to
So you're
Revelation
saying you're
1 and
reading
1.
from?
Revelation
chapter 1, I read it. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him, to show unto his servant things which must shortly come to pass.
Now, I want you to pay attention. I'm going to let him talk, but I want you to pay attention to what this brother said. Let's go to Revelations 1 and 1. I want y'all to pay attention to what this man just said. He says, we went over this last week too. We went over this last week. And I want to read it for what it's saying. And like I said, if you ain't paying attention, it would trap you. The revelations of Jesus Christ. The revelations of Jesus Christ. This revelations mean the revealing of Jesus Christ, okay? The revealing of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him. Why? If Jesus Christ is not an apostle, why would God give him anything? That goes strictly against Amos 3 and 5. He revealed nothing. I think 3:5 or 3:8, one of them. He revealed nothing but unto his servants, the prophets. So why would Jesus Christ be given this if he's not a prophet? Okay? Because the Creator don't just give anything to anyone. It has to be specifics. It has to go to specifics. He says to give which God gave unto him. Unto who? Jesus Christ. To show unto his servants. So Jesus Christ had servants. I want you to pay attention to that. Things which must shortly come to pass. So now, the Creator is supposed to be giving the information to Jesus for Jesus to now give the information to his people, his servants, such as the disciples, the things that must come to pass. Okay? And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. So the angel got the message, took it to John. And when he took it to John, he was revealing to John what the Creator is supposed to have gave to Jesus Christ, even though Jesus Christ is not an apostle. And Jesus gave it to his servants, which is telling his servants what's going to come to pass. But none of the prophets revealed none of that which was in Revelations. None of it. Peep the game. I want you to peep the game. God gave Jesus the revelations of himself. How Jesus Christ is going to be revealed. This what verse 1 said. He's now revealing the information of Jesus to John through an angel. While John was supposed to have been on Isles of Patmos. So now he's revealing who Jesus Christ is to John. That's why it says the revealing of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. So an angel took this to John to show John what the Creator has told Jesus. I want y'all to pay attention to that now. I want y'all to peep the game. Peep the game. Do that make sense to you? Now, if you indoctrinate in Jesus, that's going to make sense to you. But ain't no prophet in Torah testified this. So my question now becomes, if this is true, why was this hidden from the prophets in Torah? Why the prophets didn't know that John was going to get a revelation about Jesus Christ and the things that needs to come to pass dealing with Jesus Christ to John. Why no other apostle testify this? If this is true. And if a prophet did testify this, I need somebody to put in the chat what prophet testified this. Was it Zechariah? Was it Jeremiah? Was it Ezekiel? Was it Amos? Was it Hosea? Was it Obadiah? How about Isaiah? I mean, I can go down. What prophet testified verse 1? The revelation of Jesus Christ, the revealing of Jesus Christ. What prophet testified that? Don't give me Deuteronomy 18:18 because that's foolishness. That's talking about Joshua. That's why y'all call Jesus' name Yahusha. Yahusha or Yahweh. Yahusha is nothing but another name for Joshua. Yahusha or Yahusha. That's Joshua. So what prophet testified this? But let's get back into their words. Peep the game, family. Peep the game.
And he sent and signified by his angel unto his servant John.
Jump to verse 11.
Jump to verse 11. Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what thou seest, write it in a book.
I want to pause there. See what he says. What thou seest, write in a book.
What you
Let's go ahead. Stop this and let's get this commercial up out of here. Let's go ahead on. Let's do it. Let's get back into the video. Let's go.
From designer. Firstly, when you're in designer,
are seeing right in the book.
Exactly.
Right?
Now let's jump down.
Because they are reading the King James version.
Mhm.
So it will have these strange terms. So I'll just keep translating so that you get to understand what it is. But feel
So he's telling John, if you whatever you see visually, I need you to write it down in the book. Okay. So this is what he's telling John on supposedly on the Isles of Patmos. John was supposed to be in prison on the Isles of Patmos. So he's telling John, whatever you see, write in the book. Let's go.
free to open your Bible at home and just follow along. Whatever version you choose. But they are reading from the King James version.
Yes. Jump to verse 14.
Verse 14.
King James, a Caucasian man.
No.
Okay.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow.
So the first thing you want to look at, it says Christ had white wool hair. When you
Which verse is this now?
verse 14.
Verse 14.
14. Okay.
Wool is afro hair. Let me say it again. Wool is afro hair. It is not.
Now let's back up to verse 13, family. They always jump to verse 14, but let's back off to verse 13. And it says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girded about the paps of his golden girdle. One like. If I say somebody look like you, is I'm saying that was you? No, I can mistaken them to be you. This man, John, did not see Jesus Christ, family. Now, why would he say something was someone that looked like? Why he didn't say that? Why he said someone, look what he says, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. Like unto the Son of Man, family. Like unto the Son of Man, family. Like unto the Son of Man, family. Huh? And if you go back to verse 1, notice what it says at the end of verse 1. And it says, and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. So, family, the one that looked like the Son of Man was an angel. They was talking about an angel, family. That's who came to John, an angel. That was not no doggone Jesus Christ. An angel came to John on the Isles of Patmos. But you'll listen to them. You'll listen to some of these people and they say, oh, that angel is Jesus. Jesus is an angel. All right, let's keep going.
Straight, thin hair. Wool. If you look at a sheep or a lamb that has wool, it is like black people's hair. It is wool. It is thick. It is crispy. It is nappy. Okay, read on.
His eyes were, wait a minute. His head and his hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
When it says his eyes as a flame of fire, when you read Genesis 49, verse 12, it says Jesus Christ's eyes, Moses prophesied, Messiah's eyes shall be red with wine. Okay, so that's what it's making reference to. Read
Okay,
on.
so you say which verses now that you?
So it says his eyes gonna be red with wine. So that means they saying Jesus drunk a lot of wine. They trying to say that's Jesus Christ. That was not talking about no Jesus Christ in no Genesis 49. Because my question is, if his eyes were red with wine, family, I never seen no wine make your eyes red. What makes your eyes red is liquor. Okay, they trying to say Jesus' eyes was be red with wine. But just on the sake of them, let them get their misdoctrine out. Let's go.
Just made reference to?
We see in
Genesis
14.
49, verse 12.
Okay.
Moses said regarding Messiah, his eyes shall be red with wine.
What-
Now he lied again and say Moses was talking about the Messiah. In fact, Moses was talking about the Messiah. But what do the word Messiah mean? I went over that last week. I'm gonna see who's been paying attention. What do the word Messiah mean? Anybody in the chat? Or you can come up, or you can come up on the panel. What is the word Messiah? What does that mean? It seems like John book from the book of Daniel 7 and 9, right? In Daniel, even Daniel, the 7th chapter, and Daniel, the 10th chapter, if you read that, that's talking about an angel, but they'll tell you that's Jesus Christ as well. But if you read it, it's talking about an actual angel. And if you read it real careful, it'll tell you the angel, it'll tell you what angel they were talking about in Daniel. So now all of a sudden, the angel is Jesus. But what makes you a Messiah? Anybody in the chat? I want to see who was paying attention from last week. What makes you a Messiah? Anybody? What makes you a Messiah? Let's see who been paying attention from last week. What makes you a Messiah? Because they say Moses was talking about the Messiah. Moses was talking about the Messiah. But what makes you a Messiah? Anybody? Anybody? Put in the chat. You come up on the panel. No, not a messenger. What tells you to be a Messiah? Anybody? Because they always love giving Jesus this title, Messiah or Mashiach or Machiach, and etc. What makes you a Messiah? I'm gonna put in the chat for you. This what makes you a Messiah. It's when you are anointed. When you are anointed. Now the next question is, who anoints you? Who anoints you? Who anoints you? I need to know who anoints the Messiah. Who anoints the Messiah? Anybody? Who anoints the Messiah? Who anoints the Messiah? Anybody? Nobody don't know? Nobody don't know. Nobody don't know who anoints. Nobody don't know who anoints the high priest does it. The high priest anoints the person. Let's go to Leviticus 21:10. Let me put it in the chat. The high priest does the anointing. That's what the high priest does. Not just anybody can anoint you. Okay? Not just anybody can anoint you. Anybody cannot just anoint you. All right? Leviticus 21:10. The priest who is chief among his brethren, on whose head the anointing oil is poured, and who has been consecrated to wear the garments, shall not let the hair of his head hang loose, nor tear his clothes. The priest, the high priest, or the high seer. The word seer means prophet. Those the two that can anoint. Okay? Those the two that can anoint. Verse 12. He shall not go out the sanctuary, lest the profane of the sanctuary of his God, for the consecration of the anointing oil of his God is on him. I am the creator. Before the one who's supposed to do the anointing leave from out of the temple, he must make sure he's consecrated. Because he's a Mashiach. He cannot just leave out of the temple any kind of way. Okay? He cannot. Exodus 30 and 30. You shall anoint Aaron and his sons and consecrate them that they may serve me as priests. Who anointed them? The high priest, along with Moses, who was a seer. Anyone just cannot anoint people. Psalms 133 and 2. It is like the precious oil on the head running down to the beard, on the beard of Aaron, running down on the what? Collar of his robe. Who anointed Aaron? Moses and the priest. To bring him and usher him into the what? Levitical high order. So who anointed Jesus? They'll say, oh, well, see, the temple was run by the non-priests. So John had to baptize him. This is what they tell you. John had to baptize him. If John had to baptize him with what? Water? Baptism is not a form of anointing. Those are two different things. But let's keep going.
What does that mean?
Meaning
Was he a
the whites of his
drunkard?
eyes. Huh?
Was he a drunkard?
No. When you read Matthew 11:19, for example,
mm.
remember the Pharisees called Christ a glutton and a drunkard. Okay, remember they call him that.
No,
A
I
wine
don't know
bibber.
that. Okay.
Let me get it because you may not be
Yeah.
familiar.
So let's not rush through it. Let's educate each other.
All right.
Because that's the main point of this interview.
Yes, sir. Okay. Get Genesis 49 first. I get Matthew 11:19. So show you.
I can't even keep up, but for your benefit, we'll put the scriptures on screen so
Mm.
that you see and you can read along.
Read that.
Now,
49 verse
they
12.
call
His
him a
eye-
wine bibber. Anybody in the chat know what a wine bibber is? They say they call Jesus Christ a wine bibber. What is a wine bibber, family? What is a wine bibber? A wine bibber is a habitual drinker of alcohol. So they was calling the brother a drunk. They call a nigga a drunk. He's a drunk. A wine bibber is a drunk. Let me put in the chat. So, family, why would they call this brother a drunk? Did he say that Moses prophesied that his eyes gonna be red with wine? So, family, if his eyes gonna be red with wine, and the Pharisees called him a drunk, how is that a lie? How is that a lie, family? Let's go.
eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
Right. So they're talking about the coming Messiah.
Okay.
Now I'm in
And he's saying that they're talking about the coming Messiah, but I already told y'all what makes a Messiah is when you're anointed. Who anoints you? The high priest. My next question to the chat is, who is a Messiah or a Mashiach? We went through that last week. Who is a Messiah and a Shiach according to definition? Who is a Messiah and a Mashiach according to definition? Not something that we made up. It's a definition. Who is a Messiah and a Mashiach? Who? Who are the only ones that can be anointed? Who? Who are the only ones that can be anointed according to law? See, because we already know Jesus Christ wasn't anointed. Water cannot anoint you. A high priest had to anoint you. They say John the Baptist was a high priest. Okay? But why would he anoint him in water and not the oil? And the Bible tells you that nothing can duplicate or take the place of that oil. So why would John baptize him in water? So John didn't have access to the oil? They was in the land, so he didn't have access to the oil or the things that made the oil? If he was the high priest? So the Creator will make John go against his word that he spoke in Exodus, the 30th chapter, verse 22 to 33. He showed the Israelites how to make that anointed oil. And now, because they're being occupied by the Romans, he's going to allow John to go against his own word while they are in the land to make him duplicate the oil with water. Is that the Creator that we serve? So my question, who can be anointed to be a Mashiach according to law? Anybody in the chat? There's only certain ones that can be anointed with oil. Everybody cannot be anointed with oil. So who are those ones that can be anointed with oil to be able to be a Mashiach? Who? Anybody in the chat? Who are the ones that can only be anointed? Who've been paying attention from last week? Let me go ahead and put it up. The only ones that can be anointed is the king, priests, or the prophets. Nobody else can be anointed. You either have to be a king, a priest, or a prophet to be a Mashiach. That's it. Or the head of a house. Or the head of the house. Let me make sure I put that up there too. If you're not in none of these titles, you cannot be a Messiah, a Mashiach. You cannot. You cannot be a Mashiach if you're not of these titles. And then you have to be anointed by the high priest. You have to be anointed by the high priest. If you're not anointed by the high priest or the seer or the king, you're not a Mashiach. You're not a Mashiach. You could give a person a title all day, but that does not make them such if they did not follow protocol. The Creator will not break his law just to be able to put you in a title. The Creator don't need to do that. He don't need to break his law just for you to be inside of a title. He don't need to do that. The same way y'all say, some of these people say, well, John baptized with water. Well, why the Creator didn't allow John to go gather up the actual ingredients to be able to make the oil? He ain't duplicating it. He just going to get it to be able to be, according to y'all, to be in the right hands, because the enemy's supposed to have the temple, right? They're supposed to have took over the temple. So why John did not go and get the ingredients according to Exodus, the 30th chapter, verse what? 22 through 33. And make that oil to anoint Jesus. See, we allow people to, I'm going to get into something in just a second. We allow people like this to put titles on people. And we wonder why we are messed up as a people today. Let's go so I can move on forward. Let's go. Because I'm ready for, because, we have to be able to gain back the things that people put us in or put around us to block us in from the things that we need to be out of. Let's go.
Matthew 11:19, Christ speaking. The Son of Man, talking about himself, came eating and drinking. And they say, behold, a man gluttonous and a wine bibber. They call him.
In other words, they call him a drunk. They call a joker a drunk. Let's go.
Now, when we go back to Revelation, and it makes reference to, and his eyes shall be, what did it say?
His eyes shall be wed with
Revelation.
Revelation 14.
His eyes were as a flame
His
of
eyes
fire.
were as a flame of fire.
Right. Read on.
So in the spirit, the nigga was drinking. This is what they're saying. He came back with red eyes because he's still drinking in the spirit. I want y'all to pay attention to that. He's still drinking in the spirit. This joker's still drinking in the spirit. This is what they're saying. He's drinking in the spirit. He came to show John his red eyes because that nigga's still drinking in heaven. We're trying to pay attention. Peep the game. He drinking in heaven. He's in the spirit with red eyes. He's in the spirit with wine eyes, with the eyes of wine. Peep the game. Peep the game of what they're trying to get you to see. Let's go.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Now this way we're gonna get it right here. We're gonna stop the bus right here. When they say what they're gonna say, we're gonna stop the bus and we're gonna kind of turn the corner, but we ain't gonna turn the corner too far because we're gonna come right back to this. Let's go.
What color brasses?
Yeah, we had a lot of brass at home.
This is brass. It's like brass.
Yeah.
Read on.
Yeah.
His feet unto fine brass, as if they're burned in a furnace.
If I take this brown brass and burn it, it gets black. Yes. So you mean we're the only group on earth that ever read this? Ellen G. White read it.
Mm-hmm.
Willem Miller read it. Joseph Smith read it. All these Christian leaders that established the religions that our people follow read that, and they've despised that and said, no, 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 we're not, never teach the slaves this.
Thank you. Why is a black Christ? Is he black?
Oh, yes.
Now let's hop on the word black, family. Let's hop on the word black. All right. Let's put black up in the chat. The word black. Let's look at the word black, family. Let's look at the word black. Let's put a pause right here for where he's at. And let's look at the word black, family. B-L-A-C-K. Okay. B-L-A-C-K. Now, family, I want you to ask yourself the question. Why would, let me just do it like this. Let me just do it like this. Let me share the next video. Fair use, family. Fair use for all material. Like I got in the description. Like I got, it's fair use for all the material that I'm using today. None of this material is mine. Okay. This is for teaching and criticism purposes only. All right. Let's go. Let me pull it up. Let's go right here. I want to start right here, family. Wait till it come in. Because they say brass, when you put it in fire, it turns black. Now, I want you to think about something, family. The word black. Okay. Now, this is very key. Because you got people hop on the word black. Now, sometimes you will hear me use the word black because it's so ingrained inside of our vocabulary. Now, I understand who we know we talking about, but I want you to hear this. Okay, let's start. Remember Deuteronomy. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 32:7. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 32:7. Because Deuteronomy 32:7 says what? It says, remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy fathers, and they will show thee, and ask and thy elders, and they will tell thee. Well, let's listen to an elder right now, and it's someone's father. Fair use. Under the Fair Use Act of 1976 of the 106 Act. This is none of my material. This is constructive criticism purposes and teaching purposes only. I don't claim no rights to this material, so let's ride.
A person of color, like myself or others, black,
I'm gonna let it play.
Considered derogatory. That's just a fact. You call somebody black, those were fighting words. When I was growing up, to call a person of color, like myself or others, black, was considered derogatory. That's just a fact. You call somebody black, those were fighting words.
So back in the 50s and 60s, if you call somebody black and for you calling somebody black were fighting words. I want you to really pay attention to this now. In our culture, back during our grandparents and great-grandparents' time, if they were being called black, those were fighting words, family. Those were fighting words. because they knew that the word black was not identifying them. I want you to keep game now. They knew the word black was not identifying them. So now, why is it prevalent now that you use the word black? Remember Revelations, and his feet were of brass as if they were burnt in a furnace. So they saying that when you put brass inside of a furnace, it turns black, family. So they telling you that that their Messiah were black. And they would even go as far as telling you that the Israelites were black. But back then in the 50s and 60s, our grandparents and great-grandparents knew that they were never to be called something that did not describe them. So why have they thrust upon us the word black? What is that about, family? This is an older guy. And I'm quite sure his parents, or if he was back then, he already knew back then you could not call him black. But why are they calling you black today? Why are they pushing in Revelations, the first chapter, that his feet were like of brass as if it was burnt in a furnace? They making you look like you are black. Why are they using the connotation black, family? Why? Why are they making you see? This is the black and white thing. Oh, the black Christ, the black Jesus. Why are they using and pushing the word black? Why, family? Let's go even a little further. Let's see who started the word black, family. Let's go to Dane Calloway video. Those who are familiar with Dane Calloway, because that was one of his other clips. You heard it from the elder's mouth that they
problem that our people are suffering from right now.
They did not want to be called black. Those were fighting words.
2 live streams ago, I was telling you about the
voting, but that's the same brother right there I just showed y'all. But he's going to this right here is another thing of this brother here. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. Let's go. I want y'all to remember that symbol. And that brother right there, that's your sellout. It comes from the islands. Still, a lot of these folks, they send these folks among us to become you. And we take these people in because they have the same skin tone as you, but they're not from the grassroots of you. And they bring all kinds of different information and doctrine among you. And we say, we take them, we open our doors and let these folks right on in. So fair use, fair use. This is Dane Calloway material. I'm not here to steal none of this material. I don't claim no rights. This is only, I'm pulling some segments from this And this is only for criticism, teaching purposes only. Let's go.
He became the chairman of SNCC in 1964. He quickly realized that he needed to stick with Dr. King and his.
Let's go back a little bit.
Lewis should
Look
turn
at
his
him. Y'all
back
see he's not our
against
people.
Dr. King and
Look
his
at him.
agenda.
Mark Stokely Carmichael had you removed as the chairman of that committee. Why? Called SNCC.
It was called SNCC. It was called a SNCC.
Now I want y'all to pay attention because see, a lot of things started from the young people that went to college, black folks, and I'm using the word black purposely. It was the so-called American Negro, American Negro. Those the ones who they got when they went to college to turn a lot of this stuff around that our people don't benefit from today. It was the young people, the college people. They went squarely against their own parents, their grandparents. But let's go. Let's get into it. We're gonna get into the word black. I want y'all to pay attention of when the word black was instituted. Let's go.
A short, I guess, for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee of the Press, Doug, but SNCC. And there was a feeling on the part of Stokely, Carmichael, and some other, that I was too close to Martin Luther King Jr., that I was too committed to the philosophy and discipline of nonviolence. They didn't think I was militant enough or radical as president. I disagreed with President Johnson on many things, but I was not going to get in a name calling process a thing with Lyndon Johnson, with Dr. King. Dr. King was my friend. I was on his board, the board of SDLC. He was my leader. He was my hero. And I accepted the role as a participant. I didn't see myself as some great leader. I saw myself as one of the participants in the civil rights movement.
After successfully removing John Lewis as chairman, Stokely Carmichael was then elected as the new chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee in 1964 at the age of 23.
23.
And as you can tell by John Lewis's own account here, there
Stokely
was a lot of
Carmichael
tension
he's the
between
key.
the college students
He's your linchpin. Let's
SNCC
keep going.
and SCLC and many other parties involved that I'll get into more detail here soon enough. Once Stokely became the chairman of SNCC in 1964, he quickly realized that he
Pay attention. You can see Stokely Carmichael is not your people. He only got your skin tone. Let's go.
Political motives,
He don't even look like you. He
agendas,
looks like
and
an African.
participation that Dr. King involved himself in, all just to gain the attention of Dr. King's viewers, listeners, supporters, and media presence. And here's what I mean by that. Just as well as the other college students who participated in the civil rights organizations they created, Stokely Carmichael was one of those college students who participated with influencing numerous people of color to go and register to vote.
See, they've been pushing foreigners on you that look like you in your community. See, this is what I've been trying to tell y'all. All Israelites are not all Israelites. And it's easier for them to infiltrate you than the pale man. And I asked the question, why are they telling you that the white man is the devil, the so-called pale man, but they're not calling him the devil? Let's go back. Let's say Dan Calloway again. Let's go.
So
now y'all see that there was a problem. Okay, there was a problem, but then again, there was an agenda. They tried to make it seem like it was a problem. There was an agenda to stop what Martin Luther King was doing.
Majority of SNCC members decided that Lewis should turn his back against Dr. King and his agenda.
Mark Stokely Carmichael had you removed as the chairman of that committee. Why? Called SNCC.
It was called SNCC. It was called a SNCC. A short, I guess, for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee of the Press, Doug, but SNCC. And there was a feeling on the part of Stokely, Carmichael, and some other that I was too close to Martin Luther King Jr., that I was too committed to the philosophy and discipline of nonviolence. They didn't think I was militant enough or radical enough. They wanted me to take on Martin Luther King Jr., take on Lyndon Johnson as president. I disagreed with President Johnson on many things, but I was not going to get in a name calling process or thing with Lyndon Johnson, with Dr. King. Dr. King was my friend. I was on his board, the board of SCLC. He was my leader. He was my hero. And I accepted the role as a participant. I didn't see myself as some great leader. I saw myself as one of the participants in the civil rights movement.
After successfully removing John Lewis as chairman, Stokely Carmichael was then elected as the new chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee in 1964 at the age of 23.
23.
And as you can tell by John Lewis's own account here,
Look at him. He's
there was
not
a
your
lot
people.
of tension
Not your
between the
people. Look
college
at him.
students of SNCC and SCLC and many other parties involved that I'll get into more detail here soon enough. Once Stokely became the chairman of SNCC in 1964, he quickly realized that he needed to stick with Dr. King and his political motives,
Look at him. He's not your people.
agendas, and participation
He
in
looks like an
various
African right there.
precedents
Look at
that
him.
Dr. King involved himself in, all just to gain the attention of Dr. King's viewers, listeners, supporters, and media presence. And here's
See, they send people looking like him in the midst of you to gain access to you, to be able to push their agenda on you. See, this is the problem. That's why I asked the question. If they, Jesus Christ, say all nations is going to be against you, then what nation that he gave a pass and say, nah, but this nation over here going to be for you? This dude in the blue shirt looks just like you if you ain't paying attention. Peep game. That is Stokely Carmichael. But he's a plant and he's an agent. And so now you think the agenda has changed because they say it's 2024? Let's go.
Here's what I mean by that. Just as well as the other college students who participated in the civil rights organizations they created, Stokely Carmichael was one of those college students who participated with influencing numerous people of color to go and register to vote.
See, he was influencing people like you to do something that they wanted done. They didn't send no pale man to come in the midst of you. They sent somebody that was a foreigner that looked like you. They're doing that same thing today. And they mix themselves among you. And they look like you, and you call them you. That's why I asked the question, what happened to the 7 melanated nations that you supposed to have eradicated? What happened to them, family?
And he was also determined to be the very first person to popularize the phrase Black Power on national media by
He was the, let's say Dane again. Let's say Mr. Dane Galloway again. Let's say that again. He wants to be the what? 1 second.
And he was also determined to be the very first person to popularize the phrase Black Power on national media by
He wants to be the first person to popularize. Remember, black wasn't a popular word among us, but he wants to popularize the word Black Power, holding up your fists among the media, the same way Jesse Jackson had popularized African American in the media.
sticking to Dr. King's side, in particular, whenever the media is present. And
he had to be next to somebody that looked like you as well. To make him fit. See, all them come amongst you, and you looking at the skin tone, and you thinking that those your people. Israelites are not all Israelites.
he casually speaks in response to Dr. King on most occasions, standing against Dr. King's beliefs, pledges, opinions, and his overall agenda.
So he was there to be able to push an agenda against King's agenda. So in other words, he came with an agenda, King came with an agenda, and guess who's sitting in the middle? You. Let me say it again. He came with an agenda, King had an agenda, and guess who sits in the middle? You. Show me the white man. Show me the Caucasian. Stokely Carmichael had an agenda. Martin Luther King had an agenda. And they both of them had you as the center point bullseye. You, the so-called Niji Nagoose. The so-called melanated indigenous man and woman of the Americas. You was the bullseye. Let's go.
Upon close examination of Dr. King's facial expression, we can determine that Stokely was upsetting him, but Dr. King still managed to not lose focus.
Because King already knew this dude right here was a plant. He was an agent to come and keep up an eye on him. He was a foreigner. Just like they have them same people amongst you right now today, watching you. If you are an inside plant like King. Let's go.
What do you mean when you shout Black Power to these people back here?
I mean that they are oppressed because they are black, and their rallying cry must be Black Power, so that they can use that to ensure justice for themselves.
I feel that while believing firmly that power is necessary, that it would be difficult for me to use the phrase Black Power because of the connotative meaning that it has for many people and the feeling that this may represent a desire to rise from a position of disadvantage to one of advantage, thereby subverting justice.
Hold up. To rise from a disadvantage to an advantage.
Now we're going to pay attention to that word black. Martin Luther King just broke some stuff down. He said you're going to rise to the disadvantage to an advantage. See, Stokely Carmichael said we got because the people are black, and that was stress out them to be able to express who they are and the justice that they get. But Martin Luther King didn't agree with that. He didn't agree with the word black. He said, I agree with the word power, but not black. That word black meant something derogatory because the same man we just sat there and heard, he said back in the 50s and 60s, you call me black, that were fighting words. Can I get a water or something to drink?
He already felt as though that term black, even though he was saying it himself, was no good, especially in a position of power. But that rise from a disadvantage to an advantage part, listen.
It would be difficult for me to use the phrase black power because of the connotative meaning that it has for many people and the feeling that this may represent a desire to rise from a position of disadvantage to one of advantage, thereby subverting justice.
By subverting justice.
So when you subvert something, what that mean? When you subvert something, he says going to subvert justice by using the word black. Subvert. What do the word subvert means? Anybody in the chat? What do the word subvert means? What do the word subvert means? Anybody? Yeah, Carmichael is from Trinidad. That's right. Carmichael is from Trinidad. Says that is correct. He's a foreign agent. Carmichael is a foreign agent. That is correct. He was an agent for this government. So Martin Luther King said that this thing is going to subvert. The word subvert means to undermine the power and authority of. So why Martin Luther King was upset about subverting the power away from the people by using the word black? Why was he upset about that? See, because remember, Revelations, they say his feet is like of brass as if it was burnt in a furnace. And they say, what color is that? That's the color of, that's black. Then I heard them when they say Judah, the gates they use the scripture in the Old Testament, the gates thereof is black unto the ground. They say that's the color of Judah, black. See, they use these connotated words. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'm going to show you something in a second. Let's go.
I'm going to let that sink in. That's a very, very powerful statement.
It means to undermine.
Not only were they standing against each other during that little interview, as far as what their firm beliefs are, but this just goes to show you that Martin Luther King knew that the person that was right beside him was there to monitor him, to report back all of his actions to somebody. All of his agenda, everything had to be reported back. Now, I'm not saying that he's the one that was responsible for pulling the trigger. I'm not saying that. But he's definitely responsible for twisting the narrative. Because again, still to this very day, we never witnessed any power by considering ourselves as black.
See, that's key. That's key. For you calling yourself black, you ain't got no power. So why would the Bible tell you Israel is black? You got to peep game. Then they'll tell you Christ, they'll tell you Jesus Christ is black. Peep the game. Peep the game. Peep the game. Peep the game. Nahum 2:10. She is empty and void and waste, and the heart melteth, and the knees smite together, and much pain is in all the loins, and the face of them all gather blackness. Now, what that word blackness mean in that verse, sis? In verse 22, Joel 2 and 32, struggle. When it says, and they face the faces of them all gather blackness. What does that mean, sis? Because it's describing something. Right. It's describing the pain, they struggle, and void. That's right. It's not telling you that they are black. Okay? It's not telling you these people are black. Because there's no people that's on this earth that is black. You can see my beard, my hair on my head, and my eyebrows. That's black. But look at my skin. My skin is no way near that color. The headphones on my head, my ears are black. But the headphones it does not connotate my skin tone. So let's get back into the video real quick. Let's get back into it, and then we're gonna move forward.
We never witnessed any power by considering ourselves black. But again, Martin Luther King knew that wouldn't work. Notice how it wasn't to a point where they were going in the direction of being violent from nonviolent. That's an excuse. They were trying to say that he was radical and militant and all the rest of that, but so was King in a way. That's why certain people or certain states, as far as their governors, didn't want to work with him directly because they thought that. But the federal government knew that they put him in position, being Martin Luther King, to entice the people, to flip them in a direction that will keep certain people in office based on an illusion that our people will have some form of control or some say-so by going at it in a nonviolent way. The civil rights movement, as quick as it became reality, was as quick as it was taken out. I'm talking about fast, taken out. They needed a new way to do things. So they used people younger than him to get it done.
It's important to understand the transition with SNCC. When Stokely became the chairman of SNCC, he had a different approach. He'd not been trained in nonviolence, and he believed in self-defense. And he was somewhat influenced by, Malcolm X, who talked about that, and also Adam Clayton Powell. Adam Clayton Powell talked about Black Power even before Stokely and others.
Now, hold on, wait. And here's another thing, y'all. Malcolm X didn't go a violent route automatically.
Adam Clayton Powell talked about Black Power even before Stokely and others.
And it was amazing to me how after long walks, he would listen to them vent, listen to all of us vent, and it was wonderful to be a fly on the wall with great patience. And I remember him often saying, Stokely, is it that bad? Is it that bad? But he listened, and that was when Black Power first began to emerge. And I will never forget Dr. King's face when in Greenwood, we had a rally, and Willie Ricks got up and started saying Black Power. He looked like the most stricken man, but that was the first real breach in the nonviolence commitment.
Mississippi of 1964, Stokely spoke at various student-filled meetings and began soliciting door-to-door within particular neighborhoods of counties heavily populated by low-income residents of Mississippi. So now the question then becomes, to go and vote for what? And to go and vote for who? A portion of that who was known as the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, which was a newly formed political party of Democrats that consisted of both so-called white and black representatives.
You see how they splitting you, family? They splitting you to become a part of them. That's why they need you to take on these titles that has no meaning or no representation for you. They just need you to feel like you fit in. So that's why they give you these, they allow these titles to be put upon you. Let's keep going.
So-called white and black representatives, notice the sign. I went over this 2 live streams ago. Notice the flag. 2 live streams ago, I was telling you about the real story dealing with the Confederate flag. And that was an easy yes. As soon as they saw that flag, people went on ahead with...
To go and vote for what?
Uh-oh.
And to go and vote for who?
Now, I also did that in part 1.
A portion of that who was known as the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, which was a newly formed political party of Democrats.
I also showed you in part 1 when I said Dixie crack, right behind that.
So they didn't want to have
no living being should ever eat processed food for every single meal of their life.
Y'all go subscribe to the brother channel and pull up the
want to have anything to do with my attempting to enroll at the school.
When you are
American indigenous people.
Stokely Carmichael, John Hewlett, William Ricks, and other SNCC members created a brand new independent political party known as the Black Panther Party, 1865.
Whoa. Hold on. That was before Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seals. Hold up.
Family, did y'all know that there was 2 Black Panther parties? Did y'all know this? There was 2 Black Panther parties, family. Let's go.
I'm trying to tell you.
See,
I thought I
they
was
know
playing,
how to infiltrate you.
Yeah.
And put things upon you, and you will never pay attention. All Israelites are not Israel. Just like you had 2 Black Panther parties. Let's go.
Here you go.
Not to be confused with Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seals' Black Panther Party that was adopted a year or 2 later by SNCC. This initial Black Panther Party was officially known as the Lowndes County Freedom Organization, or the LCFO for short.
See there?
So during the James Meredith precedent, Stokely Carmichael and William Ricks and other members of SNCC and the Black Panther Party were met face to face with the golden opportunity of a lifetime, which was to be able to find.
See how it link up? That 1966 James Meredith precedent, him faking like he got shot. So the intention was to do this.
Really flipped the narrative from Dr. King's nonviolent approach with Freedom Now to Stokely Carmichael's borrowed slogan, Black Power.
See there?
While James Meredith was in the hospital, Stokely Carmichael met with Martin Luther King Jr., Floyd McKissick, and others, where they vowed to continue Meredith's march. And so the one-man march then became the March Against Fear. Having gained the media attention by aligning himself with Dr. King publicly during the march, just 10 days after the James Meredith precedent, on June 16, 1966, Stokely Carmichael purposely got himself arrested by police for trespassing on private property of the university. It was said that after immediately upon being released from police custody hours later, Stokely was instructed by William Ricks to give his Black Power speech in front of young students and the press in Greenwood, Mississippi, where he was quoted stating the following: "This is the 27th time I have been arrested, and I ain't going to jail no more. The only way we gonna stop them white men from whooping us is to take over. What we gotta start saying now is Black Power."
He capping.
And that was the same thing what IUIC just said, that we're gonna take over the whole world, and that's why James got his head chopped off. And we got to take over the whole thing, and they're gonna be our slaves. So he's saying, look, he's saying we got to start saying Black Power. And that's the only way we're going to take over. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Okay.
To use the term Black Power, SNCC had already decided this before the march. That must be properly understood. We decided to use the march for an education purpose. Number one, we wanted to push strongly our struggle against the war in Vietnam. So people will look clearly at the merit of the march. You will see anti-Vietnam propping up here. King wasn't using it then, but you will see this is one of the areas where we started to hit him with it seriously. Our march was to put strong nationalism in, to have direct leadership from us, and of course, to throw out Black Power for the mass of the people. Now, I myself have been in Greenwood, Mississippi since early '60. I'd worked in the project there, and when head of the second congressional district, this was our base. So I'd spent time in the jail in Greenwood so many times. The police knew me, the police chief knew me, everyone in the town knew me. So
don't he look like an Arab? If you really pay attention to him, he almost look like an Arab. He don't look like our people. He looks like an Arab if you pay attention to him.
So we decided Greenwood.
The police knew you, the police chief knew you. Okay.
On our base. So I had spent time in the jail in Greenwood so many times. The police knew me, the police chief knew me, everyone in the town knew me. So we decided Greenwood, it was SNCC's strongest base in the Delta. We couldn't go wrong. Unfortunately for the police, we went to set up some tents there, and the police decided to arrest me. Okay, so before I was arrested, we were discussing Greenwood. This is where we will launch Black Power. So when I got arrested, Ricks was on the side there when the police said, "Let them arrest you. We'll get you out of jail and you come out and make the speech tonight." And he disappeared. Well, you know how Ricks speaks. So anyway, I went to jail. But I was brought out, and when I was released, it was at night. The speech was going on. And when I came to the speech, I was in line. Ricks came back. He said, "We have everything prepared. We're ready for Black Power. We've spoke about it all day. We've primed up the people. And luckily for us, our biggest problem was Martin Luther King." Because I knew that once Black Power was said, Martin Luther King would have to come, not fight against it, but with his best try to give reasonings to water it down. But luckily for us, the night in Greenwood, King had to go to do a taped television thing, I think, for Meet the Press. So he had to go to Memphis. So he was not there the night in Greenwood. Ricks had everybody primed. He said, "Just get to your speech. We're going against freedom now. We're going for Black Power. Don't hit too much on freedom now, but hit the need for power." So we built up on the need for power. And just when I got there, before I got it, Ricks was there saying, "Hit him now, hit him now." I kept saying, "Give me time, give me time." When we finally got him, we dropped it, Black Power. Of course, they had been primed and they responded immediately. But I myself, to be honest, I didn't expect that enthusiastic response, you know? And the enthusiastic response obviously not only shocked me, but gave me more energy to carry it on further. By the time we got down that night, SCLC was running around everywhere. We knew it was finished. We had made our victory. They could not bring it back. It was over.
Oh. Whoa.
So the word black had started going out like a windmill. So now you're calling yourself black, and now you're screaming Black Power. It was over. It don't went out like you throwing paper up into the wind. And it's blowing all over. So now the word black is now popularized. Let's go.
Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, again, you're looking directly at a plant that was purposely done. Sway the people into something that turned into nothing. He basically swayed the people into running it.
Now, let's come out of this. We're gonna come out of Dan Calloway video. And we're going to find out what he meant by that. What do you mean by that? You ran into a brick wall. What do you mean that you ran into a brick wall? Get into the next video. Show you why Dan Calloway say you ran into a brick wall. Let me find it. Give me a second. I think I might have to go back and look for it again. Okay, here I go. I found it. Fair use. I found it. All right, let's go. This is why you ran into a brick wall, family. And anytime when you use that word black, this is what it means, family. You ran into a brick wall. There's no recall. There's no there's nothing that you can do to get out of it. Let's go. It's all made up. Black means dead. The eyes of law. Let's ride. Fair use under the 1976 Act. The 106 Act. I don't own none of this material. This is for construction criticism purposes only. I claim no rights to this material. This is only for teaching purposes only. So let's ride.
Quick, nice, fast, easy, direct debunk. I am going to share this later with everybody, but right now, let's go through it. If you're reading the title right now, you're seeing that we're going to explore a talking point from a certain community, and this talking point is black means dead in the eyes of law. We're going to explore that. And we're going to go through the claims. We're going to go through the actual dictionaries, and we're going to do this in about 5 minutes. It'll be a quick debunk. This is just good information for everybody to know. Once you know it, I no longer have possession of it. It's your information for you to share to others. I do not have a monopoly on information or debunks. So the thing is, once I give it away, it is for the community. I do not have a monopoly on knowledge. I am learning like everybody else. We're all students. And right now, we're going to explore a claim. This is the claim we're going to explore. The claim is black, the term black, right? Does that mean dead in the eyes of law according to the Black Laws Dictionary? That is a very common talking point. Right now, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through it. We're going to talk about this actual claim. We're going to do it right now. So let me get ready. Share my screen.
Now pay attention now, because
right
like I tell you,
is
listen to the words. Listen to the words.
Definition. Right.
Let's see if y'all can play. Let's see if y'all play the game with him.
So
Let's
right
go.
now, if you're looking at my screen, you're seeing this is the second edition. This is a free online edition of the Black Laws Dictionary. What I did today was I did a post earlier on my Instagram feed and my Facebook feed. And what these posts showed was the first edition, second edition, third edition, and the fourth edition. The definition of the word Negro. We also shared the definition of another word. which means dead in the eyes of law. Before we hit the other word, I want to hit this word right here. I want everybody to read it. It's a pretty easy, quick debunk. It's no refuting this. The people that are making this claim are directing you to this dictionary, and yet the dictionary does not support their claim, which means people are literally not looking at the actual words inside the dictionary. All right, so let's go through it right now. So what is a Negro? According to the Black Laws Dictionary, this is a 1898, the second edition. It says the word Negro means a black, one who descended from the African race and does not commonly include mulatto. There's a case called Felix versus the State where that was handled.
Now, notice what he's using. He says, let's say it again. He say the word what?
Negro means a black, one actual words inside the dictionary.
Now listen to what he's saying.
So let's go through it right now. So what is a Negro? According to the Black Laws Dictionary, this is a 1898, the second edition. It says the word Negro means a black, one who descended from the African race and does not commonly include.
Now I want you to pay attention to that. One that is descended from the African race. Now, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I'm gonna show you something. Just listen to the definition. One that descends from the African race. What is wrong with just that word African? Anybody can tell me what is wrong with that word African race? Let me play it again. Let me play it again. This is how you know you got to pay attention to the words. But see, we'll just play the definition. See, he's trying to debunk something, but he's telling you to pay attention to the words, but he ain't paying attention to the words. Let's go.
According to the Black Laws Dictionary, this is an 1898, the second edition.
I'm gonna come back.
The word Negro means a black, one who descended from the African race and does not commonly include mulatto.
Now, show me an African race. Because Africans don't call themselves Negro. So tell me, family, what is an African race? That's right. African make difference in color, ethnics, and races. But tell me what is an African race? Because the word African is not even an old. That's a new word. Africa is a new word. So what is an African race, family? I want y'all to do this for me real quick before we go further. I want y'all to look up the Afri tribe, A-F-R-I tribe. Tell me what you get. The Afri tribe, what you get? What do you get? The Afri tribe. Anybody got that? Who are the Afri? Who is the Afri tribe, family? Cause see, I'm about to show you who he's talking about in the Black Laws Dictionary. The Afri tribe is the Berber. Put that in the chat. It's the Berber people. Who is the Berber people, family? Who is the Berber people? Anybody can tell me who is the Berber people? Because they are the people that's of North Africa, in the Carthaginian area. Because that word in Greek is Afrikite, meaning without cold. Or the Latin word is called Africa, meaning sunny. So if these are the Berbers, can you tell me what the Berbers look like? Because these are the Afrikaans, Kaans, the Afrikaans. Who are those people? Who are the Berbers of North Africa that come from Carthagena? Who are them? We're talking about the Carthaginian area. Where's Carthagena at? That's Tunisia. Carthagena is Tunisia. Those are your Berbers. That's your Afri tribe in North Africa. That's where the word Scipio Africanus had conquered. Tunisia. So when this brother talking about the Afri races, the Africa race, he's talking about the Afri tribe. He's talking about the people in America. And the people in Tunisia was not called Negroes. You see how they try to intertwine those two things together? But let's finish listening to what this brother has to say in 5 minutes about the word black.
There's a case called Felix versus the state where that was handled. But the laws of the different states are not uniform in this respect, some including the description of a Negro who has 1/8 or more African blood. So there's also the quad.
See, now you're talking about the quad room, the water room, and the octa room. You talking listen, this is what he's talking about. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go. Let me talk.
But the laws of the different states are not uniform in this respect, some including the description of a Negro who has 1/8 or more African blood. So
see, 1/8 of more African blood is what makes you a Negro. Now, family, I want you to pay attention to that. Okay? I want you to pay attention to that. See, they said in 1800s, that's one who got 1/8 of African blood. Family, show me the Africans that was coming here in America in the 1800s. Let me show you something, family. In fact, I ain't gonna do that. Let me do this right here, this way right here. Show me the Africans that was coming here in the 1800s, family. They always try to bring Africa in it. Like where IUIC is in South Africa. But let me show you something. Let me show you something, family. Because there was no Africans on the censors in the 1800s. That watermelon room, in a coordinated room. That's all that what they trying to say is, you know, they try to mix your blood up. This is what they try to do, is mix you into blood. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me come out. Let me get back in here. Let me stop sharing here real quick. Yeah, Trey say Berber, any of the descendants of the pre-Arab inhabitants of North Africa, the Berbers lived in the scattered communities across Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, East Egypt, Mali, Nigeria, and Mauritania. That's very good, Brother Trey. That is very good. And that you hit it all on the head. Those are your Berbers. Now, ain't none of them folks that you call and that you name, they will ever call Negro. Now watch this. I'm gonna show you something. Let me stop sharing this right here real quick, and I'm gonna come back to his video. Because see, that's why I say you got to peep the game with these people. You got to peep the game. You got to peep the game. If you don't peep the game, these folks will get you. Hold on, let me do it like this right here real quick. Yeah, I do it like this. Let's go. You got to peep the game, family. Fair use, fair use. Let's get into this little short
If
video.
you watch YouTube videos for at least 1 hour a week, you could be owed up to $1,000.
Let me wait till it come in. Let's look at the word Negro and nigger. Because see, this is very simple. Let's look at the Oxford Dictionary. Let's look at the word nigger and Negro. Let's go.
Says here the facts on file, Encyclopedia of Word and Phrase Origins, 4th edition. Definitions and origins of more than 15,000 words and expressions by Robert Hendrickson. Says here the N-word. I'm not going to say the full word, especially so we don't get this video taken down. When used by a white person to describe a black or African American person, this is probably the most offensive, hateful, hurtful term in the language today. Like Negro, the word derives ultimately from the Latin Niger, black. It is not an Americanism. The first recorded use of the N-word being in a 1786 poem by Robert Burns, although variations on it include, and this has Negar here and the rest of them as you see here.
First word, the word Negro was first used in 1789 in Robert Burns' poem. And then it was put into other books and dictionaries. Now let's finish him. Let him finish up what he was saying. Let's go.
Recorded 2 centuries before then, though African Americans do commonly use the word in different ways among themselves.
Let's go back.
and that has Negar here and the rest of them, as you see here, are recorded 2 centuries before then. Though African Americans do commonly use the word in different ways among themselves, and that N-word got luck you wouldn't believe. Blacks rarely, if ever, do so in the presence of whites, right? So-called blacks and whites. This is crayon color talk here, guys. Since the O.J. Simpson murder trial in 1995, when evidence of its use by a detective witness was introduced, it often has been euphemistically called the N-word. The N-word has also been an offensive derogatory term applied to Indians, okay? That's what I wanted to show you. It was a
So the word nigga applied to the word Indian, not an African. See, they tried to make you be an African when the word nigga meant an Indian. So they made you turn against the word nigga and say that's a hateful word. But it was telling you who you were. That's why you get the word negoose or negoose. They make you turn against what you are to make you hate what describes you. So this brother in this video that I was just playing, he was saying, see the word nigga, the word Negro comes from the African race. What African race? See, they would try to make, that's why they call you an African American. That's a double negative connotation. Why would you be called two continents? And then when you ask them, well, where did I come from in Africa? Oh, you come from off the West Coast. Where? They can't tell you. And that's why they tell you you've been mixed. Some of y'all have the octoroom and the brown bag and the black bag and the blue bag and the green bag. And some of us, we look at our skin because we like skin. Oh, I must be got some pale people in me. Nah, we had some pale. Some of our people were pale, not pale like the Caucasian, but they were light skinned. And some of the people came down, they were dark skinned like me. But then when you get those people that were real dark, I'm talking about dark, like blue, those people come from overseas. They skin tone come from overseas. That's why they have to mix the words up. They have to keep calling you these words and hoping that these words stick. The word nigga means Indian. The Racial Integrity Act, Walter Plecker. He changed you from being an Indian to a colored man. That's why we have what is called paperwork. On your grandparents and great-grandparents' paperwork, they'll have the letter C or the letter C-O-L, period. Or they may have the word color spelled out. But then if they died in the 2000s or the 1900s after Jesse Jackson sellout, I don't think he's our people, but even after Jesse Jackson, what happened? On your people's death certificate, they will put African American. On my birth certificate, they got the word Negro. I ain't got no god doggone African in me. But let's finish listening to Camilo. Let's go.
Applied to Indians as well as so-called blacks up until recent times. All right. Over here, we got just another quick reference.
Because let me just say this right here real quick. That's what the word ruddy comes in. Ruddy. Ruddy is a different shade of melanated from light brown to the color that look like me. Israel came in light brown to color that look like me. That is ruddy. That is mahogany. Eric B. and Rakim had a song called Mahogany. That is copper color. Because you are the color of copper. And they know it. But let's go.
References, historical quotes from Oxford Dictionary. Yes, it's used in the Oxford Dictionary. One of the definitions says, for the N-word, a dark-skinned person of any origin. An early U.S. use, usually with reference to American Indians. Again.
So the word nigger in the Oxford Dictionary, the 1800s, it applies to the American Indian. Let's hear it again. So one definition he read, it says nigger means Indian, and now he's reading from the Oxford Dictionary. Let's go.
Origin. An early U.S. use, usually with reference to American Indians. Again, usually, originally, in early use, it was first applied to who? To American Indians.
Why in the 1800s, the Oxford Dictionary says it applied to the American Indian, the word nigger, Negro, but then when you read the law dictionary that he's reading, that we're gonna get back into this, brother, he's reading it says African race. You see how they got that? You see how they got that? They're calling you an African on a sly because their whole objective is to take you from off the land. It's to take you from off the land. Let's go.
American Indians, again, from the Oxford Dictionary, one of the very old versions.
See, that word nigga didn't come from the word Niger, what they call in the Bible, talking about, oh, Niger meant nigga. No. They were talking about who they were talking about? Who had the feathers in their head? I'm gonna see who been paying attention. Which son had the feathers in his head? Which son had the feathers in his head? I'm gonna see who been paying attention. Which son had the feathers in his head? Means feather in the heads. Which one? I'm gonna see who been paying attention. Y'all should have these notes. I say Passover gonna be different this year. Those who gonna attend, it's gonna be different. Who had the feathers in their heads? Eber. Eber means feathers, one who weighed feathers in the head. Eber. Eber. That's how you know Israel were Indians. Israel was not no doggone Africans. Israel was the American Indians, some of them. Shem lineage were Indians. They were the American Indians. Shem's lineage. This is how you know that they are telling you, showing you lies. That's why they're keeping everything about you hidden. They have to tell you you come from Africa or you somehow is mixed up. Let's go back to this brother's video. Let's go back to his definitions. His African definitions. Let's go. You got to peep the game, family. You got to peep the game. You got to peep the game. They have to keep calling you black, African American. They have to keep calling you all these names that has no connection to nothing. That's why in the Dane Calloway video, they wanted the people, they wanted our people to register to vote. Because if you listen to the sister, Shirley Chisholm, I think that's her name, Shirley Chisholm, he put it in the video. He put her thing in the video. She testified before Congress. She said that if she voted, she was hoping to be a first-class citizen. I mean, register to vote. She was hoping to be a first-class citizen. This whole thing is about citizenship, family. They got you coming under their system. And you lose jurisdiction by following and by allowing their definitions to be what it is in your life. But let's finish listening to this brother.
There's also the quadroon law. I don't know, and there's also an octoroon law. So that means you can be a slave if you are 1/8 African heritage.
See, and see that's right there. You could be a slave if you 1/2 African heritage, family. Let me tell you something. That what he's talking about is the man and the female, the male and the female. The female was the Indian. No, the female was the slave. And the male was the Indian. Or I think it was vice versa. It might be vice versa. That's why when you was born of your mother, and if she was Indian, they put on your birth certificate Negro. They put on your birth certificate Negro. And if the man sleeps with somebody, then the man his seed is half. That's where they get into the matriarchs and the patriarchs they come from. But this is all shenanigans and foolishness what this brother talking about. But let's keep going. Since he got the scoop on the word black, let's go.
So it depends on the state. You have states like Louisiana. We have a low percentage of African heritage for some of those slaves. They look practically white. And you have what you would call an octoroon or a quadroon.
See, the ones that look white, family, you got people that look like they were white, but they would consider themselves to be Negro. And now those ones that look white, family, had an admixture in them. They have what is called an admixture. Okay? They had an admixture in them besides the Negro. That's what the civil rights era was about. It was about the so-called black man sleeping with other females other than his females. Because other than that, family, we had farmland, we had our own businesses, the children was going to college, family, we had our own money, we had everything ourselves. So why do we need to sit at these folks' counter to eat? Why do we need to go to their restaurant? Why do we need to go to their schools to learn? Oh, because their books were better? Nah, no, their books was no better than the books you got today. Oh, because we had to walk miles to school? Because you was living in the rural area. They was the ones who were living in the city. They were the ones who was living in the projects, not you. But you made them flip it on you. And then they took all their definitions and flipped everything on top of your head. And now you became them and they became you. Let's go.
Because of the amount of blood, it obviously depends on the state. Phillips versus the state, they're actually having a discussion about what it means to be a Negro. Within that discussion, the close, they finally defined a Negro as a person who was ultimately a pure African descent. But
see, they said Negro was a pure African descent, family. But family, look here, look at peep the game. Not even today, Africans, the so-called African people are called Negroes. They are called white. The African people that come over here are called white, not Negro. They are called white, not Negro. I don't care if they come from Somalia. I don't care if they come from Nigeria. I don't care if they come from South Africa. I don't care if they come from Zimbabwe. I don't care if they come from Mali. I don't care where they come from. They're going to put down on paper that they are white. Go to an African today and call him a Negro and watch what he say to you. He gonna look at you and say, I'm not you. You don't believe me? Go try it. Go call an African a Negro and find out what he say. Now, he may call you a nigger. African people don't hang with you. African people don't even deal with you. The only time when they deal with you is when they work with you. And even on the job, they don't even mess with you like that. They do not. Because they know they're not you. Let's go. Let's go. We about to done with this brother video.
Also can include, and it may include a person who was mixed race or mixed.
And notice what it says. It's may. May means it's not. That means it's false. They're adding stuff. Let's go.
Or what they call a colored person. But a colored person would be a more broad, general explanation for a person who was mixed race.
See, a colored person is not even. Watch this. Colored don't mean mixed race. And mixed race, now I'm going to show you something about the mixed race too back then. Colored means a so-called Indian man and a Negro woman. The man was called an Indian and the woman was called a Negro. They call that mixed race, even though they both were Can I get some water, please? Even though both of them was Negroes. They both of them was Indians. But they broke you up. They broke your house up. They broke your house up. And they started classifying you in different places, in different areas that made you different in your own house. Because you wanted to be a part of their system. And this Black Law Dictionary thing is just showing you their system. Let's go.
So this right here is a definition. We're all looking at it. The word is simply Negro means a black man of African descent. So it's talking about a person with dark.
See, they keep telling you a black man of African descent. See, they keep putting the Negro in Africa. So what happened to the black man of America? Who is he then? But they tell you he's of African too. Let's go.
Dark pigment who is black. That is a very direct definition. The people are always directing you to the Black Laws Dictionary, yet they're not looking at the actual words. These are the words. This is the court case. This is the Phillips versus the state.
He's dealing with the word Negro, not the word black. Let's go.
Alabama. Real court case. I encourage everybody to look it up. I won't do that today. I will follow up with another part of the debunk. And I will share.
He just dealt with the
once
word
again, it's so important to
Let's
understand this stuff is made up. People are making up claims. They're not able to support these claims. So I'm gonna share my screen again. And after this, we will close this off. All right. Right now, I'm gonna share the second part of this debunk. I'm going to bury this talking point forever. All right, so this right here
Let's
is.
see if you get into the very next. This is civil motus. This is where you get the word civil rights from. Civil motus. Let's see what he said about that. Let's go.
This word is civiliter mortuus. I'm going to say it one more time. This word right here is civiliter mortuus. It means civilly dead, dead in the eyes of laws, the condition of one who has lost civil rights and is accounted dead in law.
Now, that's the word black, family. If you look up that word black, that's what comes up. The word civilitary motus. That's what comes up. And it means now let's hear what he have to say. Let's hear it. Let's hear the definition again, family. Let's go. Since he say he's gonna bury this forever, let's go.
The condition of one who has lost civil rights and is accounted dead in law. Right?
So civilitary motus, it means accounted dead in law. Now let's see how you gonna get around that. Let's go.
That's what this means. So when you hear the word dead in the eyes of law, you're referring to this specific Latin definition, which literally means a civilian that's dead. We know
now it don't literally means a civilian that's dead, family. It's talking about the condition of the people. Now, the reason why it's a Latin term, family, is because the laws that you are under is Latin. That's why you're under Britain law. That's why if you become a lawyer, you have to take what is called the BAR, BAR, British Accredited Registry, and you have to go learn Latin because all your Latin terms are actually your law. Let me say it again. All your Latin terms are actually the law that you're under today. You're not under American law. You're under Latin British law. Let's go.
Where the word mortuary comes from. This word right here, mortuus, we know what a civilian is, right? That means a person who is no longer here. So this is what this definition is.
Now, family, how a dead man lost his civil rights? How did a dead man lose his civil rights, family? Let's go back and let's hear what this man says the definition is.
Latin definition, which literally means a civilian that's dead. We know where the word mortuary comes from.
Now you hear what he said? A civilian that's dead. Now listen, now let's go back to the definition, family. Let's go.
Dead in the eyes of laws, the condition of one who has lost civil rights and is accounted dead in law.
Now, family, you accounted dead in law. How is that a physical death? Peep the game. I'm showing you how these people get over on you because a lot of us don't pay attention to the words that these people say out of their mouth. How can a physical man lose his civil rights? I'm going to say it again. How can a physical man who's physically dead lose his civil rights and is counted dead by law? Or counted dead in the eyes of law? How is that being physically dead? But let's hear the liar. Let's go.
Right? That's what this means. So when you hear the word dead in the eyes of law, you're referring to this specific Latin definition, which literally means a civilian that's dead. We know where the word mortuary comes from. This word right here, mortuus. We know what a civilian is, right? That means a person who is no longer here. So this is what this definition is. I'm going to read it one more time, and then we're going to bury this stupid argument forever. You can't really refute this because the first, the second, the third, and the fourth Black Laws Dictionary do not have definitions for the word black that coincide with this. This is the definition of dead in the eyes of law, civilitare mortuus. I will read it once more.
Now, you see how they try to just make you believe what they say? I'm gonna say it one more time and I'm gonna bury this forever. See, this is what these groups do as well. See, you got dummies like this that'll push this thing on you by the law. And then you have dummies that's teaching the religious part and saying, oh yeah, see, we excuse me, we follow Christ. And Christ coming back to save all of us. He come back to save all Israel. This is the problem, family. But let's listen to the ignorant doctrine.
Civilly dead, dead in the eyes of law, the condition of one who has lost civil rights and capabilities and is accounted dead in.
Now, family, how do a dead man lose his civil rights? How do he lose his civil rights? He lost everything. He lost his human rights as well. Did not our people march for civil rights, family? Did not our people march for civil rights and wanted to be counted as a citizen into this system? Did not our people do that, family? Our people marched for civil rights, because we were not a part of this system. Dane Calloway just showed y'all. Y'all go watch the video that I was just showing y'all dealing with Dane Calloway and Martin Luther King and Stokely Carmichael. They wanted you to register to vote because you were not even a citizen of the United States in the 1950s and 60s. You became a citizen when you registered, when our forefathers began to register to vote. And when we became citizens, the question that Dane Calloway asks is, what citizen you became? The first, second, third, or fourth class citizen? Which one? Which one? Because according to them, everybody else get tangibles except you. Notice they only come to you when it's time for them to vote. I mean, when it's time for you to vote, that's when they come to you. Other than that, they don't come to you. They don't even pay you no attention because according to them, it's called the benign neglect. You're dead to them. All the civil rights that Martin Luther King and your people are supposed to have marched for, every other foreigner gets that except you. You don't get nothing. Because you're black. You're black. You call yourself black. Even on the birth certificate, they're putting down the word black on your birth certificate. Now they don't put nothing on the birth certificate. They don't put anything on your birth certificate no more. They call you an African American and don't even put that on your birth certificate. Like they did the word Negro, like they did the word color, and like they did some of us when they call us black. I don't want to hear no more of this guy. This guy's right here stupid. I just wanted you to peep the game, family. I just wanted you to peep the game. Peep the game. We about done. Peep the game. Let me go back to IUIC. Eber is the Indian. Eber is the Indian. Let me get into Ron Hayes. Eber is the Indian. Fair use, fair use. Let's get into Ron Hayes. Let's get into him. Seminole and Gullah Wars.
Recently,
let me get this commercial out. So let's go. What we doing now? Stream, y'all. What we doing?
So this is
what we doing. Stream,
when
y'all.
they
Hold on, just give me.
start giving the name freedmen out to the ones who had meritorious manumission. Now it's
Hold
the
on,
same thing as happening.
All right, we good. We good. All right. Let's go. Let's get back. Let's get into the Indians. All right. Let's go.
Looking for.
Yeah, I got it written in the search bar.
Okay, now let's go back to the top.
I think you might be delayed. Your stream might be delayed on what you watching because I got the.
Okay, look.
Okay.
The etymology, the term emancipation derives from emancipatio, the act of liberating a child from paternal authority, which in turn stems from manu capere, or capture from someone else's hands.
So emancipation means of removing the child from the parent's hand. I want y'all to pay attention to that. Very careful. Let's go back to the definition again. Round Hayes, break this down. Let's go.
At the top in the search bar?
No, not to my life, not at the search bar, but I got it.
No. When you go to the search bar, put it in there right, it's gonna pull up the etymology of the word.
Yeah, see, I got it right here. I got the email now. It's the same thing.
Right, but it's not giving you what we're looking for. You got to write it right in the search box to get the part we're looking for.
I want y'all to pay attention to this now. Watch this.
Yeah, I got it written in the search bar.
Okay,
right
now let's go back to the top.
Watch this. Watch this.
I think you might be delayed. Your stream might be delayed on what you watching because I got the.
Okay, look.
Okay.
The etymology, the term emancipation derives from emancipatio, the act of liberating a child from paternal authority, which in turn stems from manu capere, or capture from someone else's hands. It's a transfer of property in truth. Right?
Yeah.
It's because that's what it's saying right there. Where
So who's the property that when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation, he transferred the property from one state to another, from the parents' hand to the state's hand. So who property, who's being transferred? Watch this. Let's keep going. I want y'all to pay attention to this very careful, because this is the reason why they have to make you something else.
We're saying liberating the child from the paternal authority, which in turn stems from manu capere, capture from someone else's hands. That means the state, Abraham Lincoln representing the corporation, took the slaves took the POWs from the agents that was holding them in a private capacity and made them become a manumission servant.
Now look up the word manumission before he get into it. Manumission. Let's get into that real quick, family. Manumission. Let me put that in. Let me put that in. He gonna spell it. Let's go.
Put the term manumission in there. M-A-N.
Oh,
Put the search bar out.
What? Say it. Spell it again.
M-A-N-U-M-I-S-S-I-O-N.
Manumission. Let's look up the word manumission before he get into it. Manumission. What do you get? What do you get from the word manumission? Because see, they need you. They need you to not know what the word manumission means. I want you to get it before we go further. Manumission. They need you to be ignorant. Let's go.
This is the trustee status of a servant.
The trustee status of a servant. That's where they got you at right now today. Let's go.
And another word for that is subjects, right? Subjects.
No. Just pull it up. Let's see what it say. Read what it say.
Says it comes from the old French manumission, meaning freedom, emancipation, and it comes directly from Latin manumission, meaning freeing of a slave. It is derived from the word manu, meaning hand, and the same root applies to the word manually. And mirrors means let's go.
Okay, now the reason why I have you looking this word up is a legal doctrine called meritorious manumission. So take out etymology and in front of that put meritorious, and I'll spell it for you. Okay, go in front of that word. M-E-R-I-T-O-R-I-U-S. Can you read what it say? I can't see it on the unless I wait for it to come in on the other one.
Now I hope y'all writing these definitions down.
Okay, so the term meritorious manumission comes from the Meritorious Manumission Act of 1710 in the United States, which authorized the legal emancipation of slaves or improvement in their status in return for certain good deeds. Such deeds could include saving a so-called white person's life or saving a white person's property. Right? So this is when they start giving the name freedmen out to the ones who had meritorious manumission.
So when you hear a person say my family was a freedman. This is what he was talking about on the Meritorious Manumission. And he's giving you the drop in how to get these titles. Remember, I told you they want you stuck in these titles. They got you in these titles. Let's go.
Now, it's the same thing as having trustee status on the plantation.
If anybody been to jail and they make you a trustee, that means you have a little bit more privilege than the rest of the prisoners. They give you you can walk around, you're not a threat. They know you, they laugh and joke with you. You sit with the guards, you got more privilege and you are more freer. They'll let you outside to plant gardens and all this and walk around it because they know you ain't gonna run off. This is a manumission. This is what it is, the Meritorious Manumission. This is what he's talking about. You have more privilege and status than the rest of them. Let's go.
Can you hear me? Oh,
I can now.
Oh, damn! I was reading it. Then I thought y'all was hearing me. Then you started.
You must have been on mute because I just started reading.
All right. Okay. All right. My bad.
See, so when they get these people status, they sell you out.
My shit or something.
In order to keep that status.
All right. Where you want me to go now?
Okay, now that we understand that Meritorious Manumission is trustee status. Trustee status comes by emancipation, which is right in the document or the doctrine of Meritorious Manumission. If you look right there, you will see where it say emancipation, legal emancipation of slaves.
Mm-hmm.
But it don't always mean freedom because it all can mean improvement in their status. You keep hearing everybody talking about status correction, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they talking about, right? You trying to upgrade to be a slave catcher or why you always think they got the nigga holding the whip on the plantation?
What?
You think that's a coincidence?
Nope.
He moving up the motherfucking food chain. Fiddle on the motherfucking roof.
Yeah,
okay, now let's go back to the folder so we can read these read this description of what's going on with the Seminole Wars. All right. The first thing out the gate, the Seminole people of Florida and Oklahoma, that's two drastically different locations.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Notice what they say next. Did not originate from a single ancestral tribe. Remember I told you we came from every fucking clan to fight.
Yep. That's right.
It's telling you right here out the gate, the Seminole people of Florida and Oklahoma. You got to let that sink in, the distance between Florida and Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Did not originate from a single ancestral tribe. The nations that would merge, you see that word? That means they came together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To become the Seminoles began appearing in Florida around 1750. That's a Q50 flip for me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Creeks, Muskogee, and other Muskogean peoples were fleeing white encroachment on their lands in the build-up to the final French and Indian War. Stop. What? They was never running from encroachment on the land. Everybody was going to the southeast to fight the goddamn conquistadors because we knew what they did in South America.
Man, this is heavy.
So in other words, we was not running from these people. We ran to them to fight them. We are not lazy people. We are not weak people. people. We are warriors.
Go ahead. Don't let this go over your head.
All right. Another group, now we're going to add another group, was also seeking freedom, enslaved blacks. Come on now.
Come on, man.
If they going to push the slave doctrine, that's why you know this is not us telling the stories. This is the enemy telling the story, because he calling us enslaved blacks. We knew we went to fight in a war. We didn't go over there to be free. We went to kill something to get killed.
So in other words, that's another thing. They telling you your story. And if they are telling the story for you, they're not going to make you powerful like you are. They're going to make you look weak. They're going to embolden the titles upon you in order to indoctrinate your energy of your mind. If you don't believe that this is your land, then why would you fight for it? You think the Israelites just allow somebody to come in and just take them? Or did we fight?
Some blacks had already fled their masters. I mean, they wasn't slaves already. Emerging as the Gullah people of Georgia and South Carolina. Make that shit make sense, Elder.
That's right. That's right.
Some blacks had already fled their masters.
You on their ass.
Emerging as the Gullah people of South Carolina. Them motherfuckers been there for hundreds of thousands of years.
You on their ass, bro. You on their ass. Oh.
Now look what it say. They kept a few of their African traditions and remnants of their language alive. Remember we talked about speaking pidgin?
Yeah.
Right? They were lured by the Spanish. See what we're saying, right? The Spanish promises of wages if the blacks would agree to join the Spanish garrisons of Florida. Now, why wouldn't the fuck would we join the enemy?
Right.
But they wasn't passing themselves off as Spaniards. They was passing themselves off as Moors.
Yeah.
Boom. That's the reason why when you hear the word more, it messes a lot of people up. Because it tripwire. When I tell you Israelites are not all Israelites, some people say, well, I don't know what you mean. You know, no. They didn't pass themselves off as the enemy. They passed themselves off as the Moors. Let's go.
The Gullah and other blacks both escaped slaves and freedmen. That's two classifications in law.
That's right.
Soon discover that army life wasn't any better than slavery.
Army life wasn't no better than slavery.
Look at it, bro. Look at it.
That's just on the first page in the discussion of the Gullah Wars. Now they telling you right here, this is how you know the enemy telling us the story. Some blacks had already fled their masters, emerging as the Gullah people. Ask any motherfucker that's Gullah Geechee, where the fuck they come from before 1492, and they gonna point to the same part of the country.
Yep. Yep.
There is commemorative buildings on islands just off the coast down there that very few people even know exist.
And today they are trying to take it like Sapelo Island. They're trying to take it to make it a beachfront. You still have some people that are Gullah own that land. And they're trying to take the land because the other nations want to make it a beachfront. The same way they was trying to take that elder she done passed, may she rest in power. They was trying to take her house because they wanted to build commercial property up in there.
The coast of South Carolina and North Carolina.
Like Jekyll Island is like off of Georgia, right?
I forgot where Jekyll Island was.
Jekyll Island. It's like
they done took Jekyll Island, don't belong. They done got Jekyll Island. The last couple of islands that they want is Sapelo, right up by Brunswick. They want all that. They want all that island. That's a big old island. They want that. They want that.
Off of Chester, Georgia, I think. So
okay, let's move on to the next page. We in class now. We might as well go break this shit on down.
You cracking heads, man. You twisted caps.
Okay. Let's see the picture at the top so we can see what we talk about.
It's cut off right there.
It's cut off right there. Okay. One such man was John Horse or Gopher John. That tells me he was indigenous. If his name was Gopher John, he was probably a tunnel rat.
Yep. A twa.
Mm-hmm. The son of a Seminole father and an escaped slave mother.
See, you see how they do it? A Seminole father and an escaped slave mother. I just sat there and told y'all, the man was the Indian and the woman was the slave. And if the woman was considered a slave, they'll name her a Negro. Let's go. And then when she have a baby, the baby will be called a Negro.
Was considered a slave by both whites and natives. That's a contradiction right there.
Yeah, come on, man.
Nominally, he belonged to Chief McCanopy, a skilled warrior who could speak English. He was useful to the Seminoles as the interpreter and often joined forces with the Osceola. Osceola, now you see they keep adding tribes in here, right?
Yeah, right.
Right, I ain't the only one seeing this, right?
Yeah, I'm watching you.
Okay, Osceola may have been married to a black woman. This is the name of a tribe, by the way, Osceola. They trying to pass it off as a person here.
Mm-hmm.
Though sources aren't definite on this point. He abhorred the idea of slavery. What I tell you, we didn't do that shit. That's not our culture.
Yeah.
And was willing to work with John and another black Seminole leader, Abraham. I wonder if that's Lincoln.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The nigga that they said that made white.
The real Lincoln was he was from Barbados.
Yeah, I got you.
Right?
Right.
To make sure that the blacks were not used as bargaining chip in treaties with the whites. So now we got to go back to who making treaties with the white folks.
Yeah.
He's about to get into it. Who been making the treaties with who was making treaties with the pale man? Who? Let's see. Let's go.
It ain't us.
So if it ain't the so-called niggas, if the niggas are not making treaties with the so-called pale man, niggas means Nagoose. The Indians. If the Indians are not making the treaties with the pale man, then who is? Let's go.
Telling you right here that we ain't the ones doing the treaties.
Damn, go ahead. The Moors making the treaties.
Look, it's like this, man. You come pick me up at my grandmama's house. You say, hey, we finna go move in these people's houses, but I need you to act like you belong there and sign the paper.
Yeah.
That's what they did. All right, let's keep going. Scroll down on that picture so we see the bottom of it.
Hold on.
Okay,
let's hear him again. Let's hear him again. Let's hear him
If
again.
his name was Gopher John, he was probably a tunnel rat.
Yep. That's why.
Mm-hmm. The son of a Seminole father and an escaped slave mother. he was considered a slave by both whites and natives. That's a contradiction right there.
Yeah, come on, man.
Nominally, he belonged to Chief McCanopy, a skilled warrior who could speak English. He was useful to the Seminoles as the interpreter and often joined forces with the Osceola. Osceola, now you see they keep adding tribes in here, right?
Yeah, right.
Right, I ain't the only one seeing this, right?
Yeah, I'm watching you.
Okay, Osceola may have been married to a black woman. This is the name of a tribe, by the way, Osceola. They trying to pass it off as a person here.
Mm-hmm.
Though sources aren't definite on this point. He abhorred the idea of slavery. What I tell you, we didn't do that shit. That's not our culture.
Yeah.
And was willing to work with John and another black Seminole leader, Abraham. I wonder if that's Lincoln.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The nigga that they said that made white.
The real Lincoln was he was from Barbados.
Yeah, I got you.
Right? To make sure that the blacks were not used as bargaining chip in treaties with the whites. So now we got to go back to who making treaties with the white folks.
Yeah, go back with it.
It ain't us. This telling you right here that we ain't the ones doing the treaties.
Damn, go ahead. The Moors making the treaties.
Look, it's like this, man. You come pick me up at my grandmama's house. You say, hey, we finna go move in these people's house, but I need you to act like you belong there and sign the paperwork.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
So
all right, let's keep going. Scroll down on that picture so we see the bottom of
So
it.
they were signing the paperwork as if they were you. You had people signing the paperwork as if they were you. Let's keep going.
Okay, it say requiring natives to disclose the whereabouts of black Seminole villages or any promises to return black slaves to their former owners. Now, how are we gonna go along with that if we are already against slavery? It's telling you right here that we don't agree with it, but they telling us to participate in it. Make that shit make sense.
That's some crazy shit, right?
You see how they writing your story? They writing your story, Israel. They writing your story and making you subject to them. Let's go.
Okay, you see the people right there. Those are Gullah. Get you.
Yep.
Now you see he look like Chicken George, don't he?
Yep. Same people from that Bumper Johnson from.
Mm-hmm.
The Geechies.
Okay, let's keep going. We just going over a little history, and we just saying. Mm-hmm.
Hey, ball clap this claim. Oh, that's right, the same one we just read. Ball clap this claim, man. You crack your heads and just the counts on this joint, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that cash app, man. We
Make sure you come in, you hit the like and subscribe button. Also over here too as well.
Got, man. See what you got.
Let my likes
go to the top of the page. Let's get it in.
All right, that's top one right there.
That might be the second half of the next page.
So they the ones who making the treaties on your behalf. Let's go.
I think we just read this one.
That's the one we just read.
Okay, then this right here, the next one.
Let's see the one after that just to make sure.
All right.
What it said about the last sentence.
It says Chief McCapu. Can't say that last word. Mike
McCanopy. Okay, you see their legs right there? That's the picture from the one before. So these two pictures is out of order.
Okay, so go this right
here.
This
started off with the same things, telling you the same thing. John was captured with Osceola in October 1837 and sent to Fort Marion in St. Augustine. He and several other Seminole leaders, both black and native. Now you notice they are incorporating two groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
But they already told us that the so-called Seminoles was an admixture of tribes from across the land.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It said they starved themselves for several days, pried the bars off the windows of their common cell, and slipped away from the fort. With Osceola sidelined by captivity and later dead, a younger generation of leaders had to step up. This is our culture right here. Only after he was assured that his people would not be enslaved did John Horse agree to talk with the army. He and his band resettled in Oklahoma and later returned to Florida in 1840 in an attempt to talk Wildcat or Kuwakochi, a native Seminole leader, into surrendering. That don't make sense.
Yeah, we didn't surrender.
All right, but we're going to keep going. Kuwakochi agreed to do so in 1840, and he and John Horse accompanied Kuwakochi's people to Oklahoma. So they came from Oklahoma to get the people in Florida and take them back to Oklahoma. For this service, John was given his freedom by white authorities and personally by Chief McCanopy. All right, so that's what he did. That's who he sold out to get free from slavery. All right, let's go back to the other page. Okay, deserted and took up dwelling in the swamps of Florida where they would be inaccessible to slave catchers or Spanish authorities seeking to round up deserters. This page is still out of order, but we already read both sides of this page. The Spanish name for these runaways was maroons.
Now, I know y'all heard that word maroons. I know y'all heard the word maroons. These are that's the names that they call those that ran. Let's go.
The Spanish name for these runaways was maroons. Now watch this.
More rooms, more runs. Oh shit, go ahead.
First applied to the natives who had fled to Florida. May come from the Spanish word cimarron, meaning wild or runaway, but scholars differ on this application. At first, the identities in their own villages and means of tribal governance. As more settlers moved into Florida from the southern colonies, later states. Now, wait a minute. I keep telling y'all, we was the ones going to Florida. This is the stronghold of the war. The settlers were not, when they say settlers, they talking about conquistadors. They talking about Englishmen, Frenchmen, Dutchmen, and Spanish conquistadors who call themselves Moray or Moor.
Now those that when he say those, he's talking about those ones that look like you, have the same skin tone like you. Remember we showed Stokely Carmichael. He was considered like a Moor, a person that looked like you. So he's explaining to you that those people look like you, okay? But they're not you. But they are called settlers. Let's go.
That's what they talking about.
Right.
They were infiltrating us, pretending to be captains.
Let's hear that again. Let's hear it again. They were what now?
40. In an attempt to call Wildcat or Kuwakochi, a native Seminole leader, into surrendering. That don't make sense.
Yeah. We didn't surrender.
All right, but we're going to keep going. Kuwakochi agreed to do so in 1840, and he and John Horse accompanied Kuwakochi. Agreed to do so.
Let's see what they was doing. We about done, family. We about done.
Okay, deserted and took up dwelling in the swamps of Florida where they would be inaccessible to slave catchers or Spanish authorities seeking to round up deserters. This page is still out of order, but we already read both sides of this page. The Spanish name for these runaways was maroons. The Spanish name for these runaways was maroons. Now watch this.
More rooms, more runs. Oh shit, go ahead.
First applied to the natives who had fled to Florida. may come from the Spanish word cimarron, meaning wild or runaway, but scholars differ on this application. At first, the identities in their own villages and means of tribal governance. As more settlers moved into Florida from the southern colonies, later states. Now, wait a minute. I keep telling y'all, we was the ones going to Florida. This is the stronghold of the war. The settlers were not, when they say settlers, they talking about conquistadors. They talking about Englishmen, Frenchmen, Dutchmen, and Spanish conquistadors who call themselves Moray or Moor. That's what they talking about.
Right.
They were infiltrating us, pretending to be captives. We realized it, and this is why we broke up the tribes. Watch this. Black and natives saw the need to join forces. While they maintained their own villages and camps, blacks and natives traded, coordinated on strategy for dealing with the whites and intermarried. Many blacks had mixed native ancestry and soon became regarded as Black Indians or Black Seminoles, half-breeds, mixed blood.
Yes, semi. Hey man, you like,
so you have, this is where we're gonna stop right here. And this is what I've been trying to tell y'all. A lot of people, when you go down into it, you will see their blood have been mixed. And this is what I've been trying to tell you. Now, on some of that, you have to be careful when you say mixed blood, because like I told you, the father was an Indian and the woman, the wife, was called a Negro. So they'll make it seem like they're different people and they're not. That's why you have to return back home and you have to trace your family lineage. And you'll find out all what you need to know. This is what I've been trying to tell you. Any questions? Any points? Anybody want to say? You can't be listening to these people because they will throw words at you, like the word black. Then I showed you that brother say he's going to debunk the word black. But then when he came up with civil mortus, he could not debunk it because it shows you. Then he tried to say, oh, that means an actual person that's dead. That's stupid. How do an actual person that's dead lose their civil rights? That's what you call dumb. That's what you call stupid. That's what you call ignorant. But guess what? They'll throw that stuff out. They hoping that you will catch it. They hoping that you will open your ears, keep your ears open for the stupidity and the ignorance. That's why a lot of you believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. But you can't tell me who anointed him. You'll tell me, well, the Creator anointed him. Well, the Creator anointed everything. But he gave order to man in order for man to be able to do it in the presence of the people. That's why we have to be very careful by the things that we hear and listen to what these people tell us. We're scattered across the earth, but you can't tell me how we got there. This is the problem. So we're gonna pick up on Rod Hayes on next week in the Creator's Will. Also, family, I have to do this before we go out. Got Passover coming up. Those who's going to be attending Passover has their assignments and what they need to do. If they can't do it, they will be removed from Passover. All right, because we are moving into a whole new different direction. We have to make sure that everybody is up and on the up and up to be able to move forward. Family, this is my children's book. Make sure you get it. It's out now. The first episode is out. The animation to be dropping by June or July of this year, and the creators will. Make sure you do get a copy of the book on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, on any place that sells a book. You can buy this book. This book is nationwide. So we're trying to move things in a whole different direction. Also, we're trying to bring out a new track, hopefully, and the creators will, by Brother Devontae. We also getting ready to do other things as well. So family, also those who are listening, who wants to take part into the movie, that I have written, make sure you be at my house at 10 o'clock Sunday. We're going to be there for 30 minutes to an hour. We're not going to be there all day. I don't have all day to waste. So family, I thank you for joining me on ITFTR Network. I hope you enjoyed tonight. We're going to get further into it. We got plenty of leftovers on IUIC. We got plenty of leftovers. So like I said, I hope you like leftovers because I'm warming up and we're going to eat together. Make sure you go out there and get your book, get your copy of your book. This episode is pretty good. I started off in Savannah, and he's going to be moving around. So, family, may your Shabbat continue to be peaceful, restful, and relaxful, and may the Creator continue to keep you all throughout your journey in this walk. Until then, shalom. Happy Shabbat.